smells like somebody had a Brazilian blowout in there. Was that you, buddy?
Well, that's different than the Brazilian blowouts.
Two flushes, please. Two. You always leave me like some toppings. Isn't that isn't that toppings? Toppings.
What is it?
Mary Poppins.
Oh, I don't know that baby show.
No, it's not a baby show. It's a legendary movie.
For babies.
Fair enough.
It's not for babies.
Hey, you know what babies need? Haircut.
Yeah.
That's what babies need.
Melissa Soroka could do that.
She can. She specializes in cutting everybody's head.
Yeah, and whether you're a woman, a man,
or a baby,
a kid, I'm not sure how young she'll go, but I'm pretty sure you don't bring your 1-year-old to get your hair cut.
Well, what about like fresh?
What do you mean?
You know, like babies, they come out and they're covered in black hair.
Oh,
what if I just want Melissa to mow them down a little bit? Mow this baby down a little bit so it's not ugly.
Gross, got cheese on it.
Her mom's Italian, so she's got those long black hairs.
20% off for new clients all through November. And then they got haircuts for the whole family, like we talked about. Brazilian blowouts, which me and Daniel find hilarious.
Get some color, man. Get some, change the color of your hair.
Yeah. Keratin treatments. Yeah.
You can get extensions, which I'd like for you to get extensions, but you won't do it.
Yeah.
I want long in the back.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande.
She's also a makeup studio. Maybe you want to hire her if you're getting married. You know, she does professional makeup. But Daniel's right. With color, anything hair related, Melissa Soroka has the experience. Plus, you'll get a cool Tom and Dan gift because her husband is one of our branding agencies.
Absolutely.
One half of our branding agency.
That benefits you. 20% off all of the new clients right now through November. She's a licensed Kevin Murphy retailer, so you can pick up some products there as well.
Yeah.
Go to her website if you want to check everything out. It's MELISSA SURROCA.
MelissaSoroka.com.
Welcome to a Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here. The fish are here. And that's about it.
Yeah. You can go on our hookups page. If you go to tomanddan.com, we have this thing we started years ago called Tom and Dan Hookups. And it's basically a way for small local businesses to advertise on our page.
It sounds like a dating site, though.
I know, yeah.
While you're just saying that, I was like, it sounds like Tom and Dan Hookups.
Yeah. It's we mean in the terms
disgusting sex, no questions asked.
Hook me up, bro.
Yeah,
give me a good deal.
Yeah, give me a hookup.
These companies will give you a hookup financially. If you're a Tom and Dan listener, they all offer some sort of discount on our hookups page. But there's a bunch of them on there, including Her Majesty's Services, which we all use now. They've been cleaning our studio for a long time. And there's also Thompson Gas. There's also Pabone. We've got
Andrew Allen's on there if you need music.
Gillis Automotive.
Gillis is on
FNS
there.
Services, Vintage Paper Company. Precision, American Air and Heat, Six Flags.
my landscaper's on there.
Who's that?
Sticker Wolf.
Sean. I forgot.
Is he just on there? It's like, Sean.
All I know
SNL
is
Landscaping.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that Sean?
Yeah. I think he should have called it Sean's Landscaping.
Really?
I'll remember it easier.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he should
H&W
name his
Concrete.
business.
Fair enough.
RTA Direct.
Yeah. That I use them for my kitchen cabinets.
TomandDan.com/hookups.
Yeah.
It's basically anybody Tom's done business with in the last month.
A lot of shady dealings.
Yeah.
Should have called it Tom's Shady Deals.
Yeah, it should just be called Tom's Internet History. Because it's just all the companies.
It should be Tom and Dan Grift On.
Yeah.
Instead of Groupon.
If
I like that.
If you want a shady deal, it's $50 a month.
We should have just called it Shady Deals.
Or I'll give it to you if you give me something free.
Yeah, that's true. If you send us pictures of your wife in a one-piece high side, you never know what you might get a free BDM membership. I'll give this whole damn company away.
Yeah. Samantha,
my accountant's going crazy, and I'm giving everything away. It's the Tom and Dan nickel pickle sale.
Today's the first day of this week that I'm not exhausted because
it's just the first of the week. It's Monday.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I scared the hell out of me. I was like, what the hell?
What's happening?
I'm freaking out, bro.
Where am I?
Yeah, you're right.
What, do you think she was a witch all of a sudden?
Anyway.
Controlling
Travel
time?
through time.
So
She's a time witch.
the boys went back to school, which
what does that mean? Is that a euphemism
like
for
physical
something?
school?
No, yeah.
Not
I thought that meant you finally got laid.
Physical school.
Hey guys, the boys went back to school,
and then I had to reacclimate to the 7 a.m. wake up time because they got to be at school by basically we have to leave the house. We timed it by like 8:14 to catch the right lights to get them there.
That's
so
good.
6 minutes in. Anyway,
Wow.
so we're kind of
that's a little too tight for me. Like,
Yeah, that's too tight.
I
like
missed the light one time and I was like, run!
I like to
Your mask
leisurely.
Run for your life.
I like to leisurely drive. I don't like to feel like every day at school I'm running with a bag of jewels down an Indiana Jones cavern way with a big boulder about to crush me.
I'm ruining them. They're grown up to be neurotic about time. They're always late, running like
Or the opposite, because their dad traumatized them, so they get everywhere an hour early.
Oh yeah. They'll be like, I was always panicked. I always knew I was going to be late.
I think that's why I'm the way I am.
It'll ruin a kid.
hate being
real
late.
good. Anyway, but waking up early again.
It's hard, man.
It kicked
Every
my
morning
ass
I
for
get
like
up at
3 days.
3 a.m. and then I can't go back to sleep, and then I just read conspiracy theories until the pure sadness of my existence forces me back to sleep.
It's good.
Insomnia is bad, man.
Yeah.
I've been using melatonin
Is it working?
regularly. It
I
worked
noticed.
at first, but then it started.
The cellulite on your butt looks a lot better. It's all toned up. That's
so-
what it does, right?
Yep.
It's like oil of Olay.
It seems like, though, I need to graduate to something stronger, but I'm worried that that's how you ledger yourself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You want to go straight Adderall to Ambien, yeah.
Well, I've
the
done
infinite circle.
Yeah, that's called the Michael Jackson.
yeah.
Like
I'm afraid of that.
I have done melatonin. Like I've gone the 1 milligrams to the 5, and then to the 10.
Yeah.
And then to the 15,
Yeah,
and then
I'm
I take 2 15s. But
Woo.
then once you take 2 15s, it does the opposite effect. Like to
keeps
me,
you
it's
awake.
like I'm like I'm like, oh god, it's happening.
Yeah. So I contemplated getting the stronger sleep. What's the stuff it's the same stuff that's a NyQuil, but they just take out.
ZQL.
Yeah, ZQL. There's just the stuff that makes you tired, not all the other cold medicine.
Yeah, my wife buys that all the time. She's always like, "You should try this."
So
just
is
makes
it that
me
and
groggy.
then is it that and then Ambien? Ambien is the
Ambien's
or
the
like
big dog.
Xanax, I guess. Like you want to go even further.
Well, Xanax isn't for sleep as much as
Some
it's
people
for
use it for that.
anxiety.
But yeah.
It's more for anxiety.
But a lot of people have anxiety and thus they can't sleep. I guess you kind of have to diagnose why you can't sleep.
Yeah, Xanax makes me tired, but sometimes it'll just get me like to a
drunk.
Yeah, it just gets me to a level where my eyes are heavy, and then I just kind of stay there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm falling asleep.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
really groggy, and I'm just kind of walking around in this weird Xanax state. And I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's
Just
not what I
drugged
want.
out. Yeah.
I want to go to
Get
bed.
tired. Yeah. So anyway, getting up early.
You got to give
has
your
been
sons
rough.
Xanax
Yeah.
as soon as they wake up.
And so, man, not being able to sleep, like it'll ruin a lot. Basically, your mood, and then it starts to make you angry, and then it starts to make you where I don't know if you guys feel this, where like you start to have like no confidence in yourself, and you're like,
That's how I feel right now.
You don't feel strong or anything, you know what I'm saying? And then when you do that, then that gives you
then it
anxiety or
snowballs,
anger, and then so it's like
Sleep is
Yeah.
extremely important.
Yeah.
I mean, that is why I try to go to bed. Like we make jokes about it. I'm way better. I used to go to bed super early, and I don't know why. I think it was just a habit left over from morning radio.
Yeah.
But now I go to bed around. Normally, I am in bed at 10:30 just about every night. It's 10:30.
Can you fall
Wow.
asleep like fast, or are you kind of rolling around for a
No,
little bit?
I probably fall asleep around 11. But it's like every night. It's a 10:30, 11.
I've never
it's just
been able to do that.
normal. All of you guys are
I'm
up
not a
to
morning
like
person.
about midnight, right? Most of you guys.
Midnight to
Yeah.
1 to sometimes 2.
I never knew that late.
Yeah, I know. It's not like I want to be up that late. I can't fall asleep.
I try to shower.
I drink sleepy time tea.
Getting into bed
I love sleepy
at
time.
midnight. Now, before when it was like when the kids weren't going to school regularly, then
party every night.
Oh well, yeah. It was like I remember it was like 1 a.m. I was like, whatever, we'll sleep in. Who cares?
Well, the first week of COVID, that's how I was. I was like, this is a free party.
Yeah. So getting back into that regimen, but. I feel better now getting back into it because like you let it slide and you think like whatever like and then it gets real bad and then getting back to 7 a.m. it's just the gradual slide like that's everything in life, right?
Yeah,
you start and then if it starts to slide,
you got to put the effort in
and then
you use that willpower.
You got to catch it before it goes too far because getting back to the
I'm in it right now. I'm trying to get back up at 6 a.m. because I like to get up at 6. And then immediately I put on my workout gear. I go ride the Peloton, get that out of the way, come down, take a shower, help with May, get her ready, whatever we got to do. And then I'm done. Then I can go to work.
You know what's weird is that on the weekends I can get up at like dawn at like literally when it's dark, and I want to because there's
Do you go to sleep earlier?
No, I'm
okay.
not, but the thing is that I get excited.
But you hate coming here.
No.
It's just like
mentality.
it's a free day.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to do? It's
Make
exciting.
the most out of your day.
And it's the time where like the family's asleep. It's
alone time.
Quiet. I immediately get high. And then I walk outside, and then I'm like, for whatever reason, I don't know if anybody else enjoys getting high at the break of dawn, but
nobody.
It's called wake and bake.
But I do edibles. I don't.
Well, it's the same thing. It doesn't have to be smoking.
And there's a bliss when everybody's asleep in your house, and then you could do whatever you want. Like usually, I go check my plants, and then I start researching some gambling of that, and then I'm like, man, I'm so happy. Then I like start drinking some caffeine. I just bought a coffee maker.
Wow. Well, what is happening with this guy?
Oh, man.
Is this a turning point?
Yeah, I think we're having a turning point.
So he's being more responsible, but we do have to counterbalance that with him being crankier. So
has he been crankier?
He's a cranky old man, doesn't like fun. But he's being an adult now, so I guess it's a good trade-off.
Well, I think he's always hated fun. I think he just held his tongue. You know, old people, when they get older, they just say things, you know? That's why your grandfather yells at...
have fun.
It's why your grandpa yells at N-word in Arby's. It's like because he doesn't care anymore. Yeah, the filter's gone.
No, it's just I'm trying to get it together. I think if you always...
How was your coffee this morning? How do you like your coffee, buddy?
I didn't know. I didn't get it yet. And Crystal ordered it.
Oh, you just ordered it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even...
What'd you get, an old Mr. Coffee?
I don't even know.
Did you get
Have you never had a coffee maker?
No.
You guys aren't coffee drinkers.
What are you, 5 years old?
Yeah, we had one for the nanny, but then it turned out she didn't even want it.
She wanted that little pot.
Yeah, she wanted the metal pot that goes on the stove, like old school Colombian lady. So she was
literally she's grinding the beans with sandpaper.
And it wasn't until like we had it, so we knew she liked coffee and one time, and like she likes caffeine when she worked. Like she's been drinking like a cup of coffee in the morning for like 50 years or whatever.
It keeps her young.
Right.
Yeah. And then I remember one time we ran out of coffee, and then she literally she was like bent over the sink, and she was having a problem.
So she's addicted to the caffeine.
Oh my God, you tried to kill her.
I was like, what happened? I didn't understand.
What's wrong? You don't like Dunkin' Donuts?
But
El Dunkin' Donuts.
We bought her a coffee
yelling
maker,
at her, talking loud.
This cheap bed and breakfast, the Bed Bath and Beyond coffee maker.
Yeah.
And she used it for like 6 months, and it wasn't until Andres and Leanne came to the house, and then Leanne was talking to her in Spanish, and then Leanne told me, she's like, she doesn't want that one. She wants the metal one that she puts on the stove. She's been suffering through that for 6 months.
Suffering.
You got her the ninja coffee.
She was
explosion.
The nanny she was just saying like, oh, I
prefer.
No, not even prefer. Because she's so nice, she wouldn't have ever said anything. She probably was like, oh, I liked my metal one, but we threw that one away because I was like, well, this is the poor one, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you the Bed Bath and Beyond special. Huh?
So she had her own coffee pot, and you threw it away?
Not only that, he threw it up in the air and he hit it with a baseball bat over a fence.
It wasn't a coffee. It was a metal.
Was it her personal one?
Yeah, had her name.
And you threw it away.
I got her the better, more expensive one. Bed Bath & Beyond.
Where did the original one come from? Did she bring it with her?
It came from Colombia. It was her grandmother's.
Dude, that's messed up.
And it had her name etched in it until
that was like a family heirloom.
No, it wasn't a family heirloom.
He hit it with a bat.
No, I just thought it was
generations of coffee grinds were in
I thought it was.
He looked at her. He goes, "This right here. No. This is a Mr. Coffee 3500. That right there, El Junco.
That's messed up, dude.
El Junco Supremo.
I thought it was just the cheap
Why wouldn't you
one.
ask her? Why would you just throw away her thing?
I was doing what I thought was best for her.
Yeah.
Okay, Whitey.
He was.
I got her the better, more expensive one. Then it was just literally.
I don't even know what you call that.
Let me guess. You bought her a cheap plastic one.
No,
it's not a better, more expensive one.
No, I got her the coffee maker. It was like Coffee Mate, Coffee Maker.
Coffee Mate. Oh God, it wasn't even a name brand.
But it turns out
it wasn't even a Cuisinart.
No, she liked
a Keurig.
She liked the metal thing. You just put on the stove.
Yeah.
I thought that was an old cowboy. That's how cowboys make it. I didn't know. Like
she's an older lady.
Well,
she also liked paste salsa.
I thought she
New York City.
She had that because it was the only one that like she brought. She didn't want to bring her coffee maker from her house.
This from my village.
Please
don't hit with a bat.
Anyway, then we got her another metal one.
Home run, El Jungle.
And then she never used the other coffee maker. Then no one ever used it, so I punted that in the trash.
Oh, why didn't you keep that one?
Because that we never drank coffee.
Before you start punting things, let me drive by your house and see your trash, because you got a good trash.
No. I think we gave it. I say punted in the trash. We either gave it to Goodwill, which is closer than trash, or I put it on the curb and then someone takes
Goodwill, like they're real. They won't take stuff now.
Oh yeah,
because of COVID.
No. Well, now you just have to drive there off hours and then load all your garbage.
But I figured out a new trick. I do worse. I drive it. I put it right in the doorway because I can't even. I pull my SUV up to because they won't take stuff now.
Yeah.
And I got all this trash.
And
I'm like, you guys should take my trash. So I throw it all so when they get to work, they're like, oh God, what do we do with this? Either we keep it or throw it in the trash. And I'm like, sorry, that's your fault because you're a Goodwill. You chose to be that. I didn't choose to be that.
And you drive away.
If this was a Goodwill and I drove up here and there was trash at the front door, I'd be like, yeah,
and you
that's what you get.
You're like, I'm a hero.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm doing a lot of good. I'm like, some bum is covering his sick body with my poo-poo pants that I don't wear anymore. Because they're ripped and stained. Yeah, they have poo-poo in them. That's why I got rid of them. But some bums like, well,
better than nothing.
Yeah, can't poo-poo twice. And he'll put them on. And he's good to go. And me, you know what I call myself? Goodwill first responder. I'm a first responder. When bums need pants, I'm on the front lines.
Yeah. I dropped something off at Goodwill. I was loading in the cart, and I saw him looking at me through the window. I'm like, oh,
I know. That's why you got to put it in other places.
My wife,
if it's still on property, it's still Goodwill.
She's like, donate this, and it was an old wicker bread holder.
Oh, this is great. Bums need places for their bread too.
And I was like, no, this is garbage. No one wants some old wicker bread holder.
She'll make a great hat for my dog.
And then she's like, donate it. You never know who's gonna. I'm like, all right, but this is the problem. I'm just loading up trash in front of the door, blocking them in.
Yeah,
don't block them in.
Block them in.
I hate when Amazon puts something right in front of your door where you can't open it. Why do you do that?
I like to block them in.
By the way,
block them in. That's the only way to them to get you take your trash.
Uber Eats and DoorDash, quit putting my delivery in front of my door.
My door opens out.
So
I knocked over my Megawatt burrito and the jalapenos fell off. How dare you? I can't be fat anymore.
Put it a little bit to the right so I can open my door.
Correct.
I looked down and I'm like, God damn it. And then I pushed it over and I squeezed squish that, and then I bring it up. And then why do you wait? Just deliver it and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I said leave a door in the notes.
I put it on my handle.
I see you waiting there, and then you drive away fast.
Yeah, because they know what they did. You know
They're
what
waiting
you did.
to see you smash your own food.
Yeah, I put it on the handle,
It's a
so when
great
you open
prank.
the door fast, it flies off into the street.
You know what I figured? This is the doo-doo pie from The Help. They're
Wait a
mad.
Oh, no,
They're-
it's nothing like
Not
that.
quite the same.
I don't think every Uber driver is a black lady in a southern area that's being horribly mistreated.
No, I'm just saying that it's on the spectrum of that. They're mad that I'm ordering like Cracker Barrel, and they have to deliver
Dude,
it to me.
how many times
So
do
they-
you guys order goddamn Cracker Barrel? Jesus,
You love it.
And so
right?
they put it in front of my door and watch
It's
me
not
smush-
even
It's not
good.
that
Just, it's the old little squirt in the corner of your office because you hate your company.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy has ordered more Cracker Barrel to every house but his. Every house has got Cracker Barrel at it. What do you get, Uncle Herschel?
Crystal, no, I don't even want it. Just Crystal. There's a very limited place because she's vegetarian and they always screw up her order.
Yeah.
What does she just get? Like the sides?
The
at
side
Cracker Barrel?
item.
Give me all the barrel. Hold
Mashed
the cracker.
potatoes?
It's all the she can only get the side item sampler at every place because she can get all the sides. But a horrible way to live.
It is.
Yeah. Like, look what you did to yourself. You chose this.
He
chose this life.
He is a little
I
grumpy.
told you.
How many dumb chickens are you actually saving? I mean, yeah, they probably murdered 10 million of them during COVID because they couldn't have the. You know, remember?
Yeah. Uh-oh, COVID. Well, he says it, he coughs. That's how it works, folks. But we'll have a guess.
I'm just saying, it's like, what are you actually? How many animals are you?
But I
saving?
don't think she
Just
even
a
likes the
drop in
taste of
bucket.
it, right? Like, she
No.
likes fruits and veggies, you know?
Well,
and-
that's because she's been a vegetarian for so long. She's she can't go back. Like I said, you let it slide too far, and now she's
I don't
disgusted.
know if I believe that because don't your taste buds change like every 7 years? Because I remember not liking stuff a long time ago, and now I like it.
She
I
can't.
And
haven't
vice
been able
versa.
to-
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't really like this anymore.
This whole week, I haven't even been able to. I don't even have a taste anymore in my mouth.
That's not good.
This whole week, it's been like that. It's been driving me
See
crazy.
if you taste my soda.
Let me try it.
Okay.
I'll get a little sip here. Let me see here.
Little nip.
Nothing.
What is that?
Now let me taste it. I'll tell
Is
you.
it water? Oh, it's in a Mountain Dew bottle, but it tastes like water to me. There's no taste, absolutely no taste. It's in my chest now.
Crystal won't even eat the Beyond Burger because it's so realistic. It grosses her out. Like,
could
how
see that.
crazy is that? Like, I tell her, like,
She'll eat
no.
like a veggie burger, but not a veggie burger
She
that's
likes
made to look like ground up meat.
Well, veggie burger and quinoa burgers, she likes that. Black bean burger, but the Beyond Burger is too realistic. So when she eats it, it makes her grossed out because it's so close to meat. But even though she knows it's not meat, it's just
Would it gross her?
lost the
Like,
taste
okay,
for it.
with the Beyond Burger, can I take that ground beef and just start shoving it in my mouth and nothing will happen to me because it's not meat?
Yeah. You could also eat. You could eat ground beef.
I just had a
uncooked, too.
revelation.
Yeah, like tartare, but I'm just saying, like, what is it?
I'm not supposed to be eating red meat as much anymore because of my hemochromatosis. So I can eat the Beyond Meat, right? Because that's not that. Well, I should check the iron.
I mean, you don't eat
probably
meat, but I
barely
bet
any.
you sure like the bone.
Well, there's some iron in vegetables, obviously, but
Yeah, right.
not as much as meat. So I'm sure you're fine with the Beyond Burger.
I'll have to check, but that could be an option for me.
I haven't
I love a
had-
good smash burger, and I'm like, man, I can't eat it anymore.
I've had Impossible Burger.
Yeah, that's the same.
I've
right?
never
Or no?
had Beyond Burger.
I've had both, I think. I think I've had them both.
Maybe it's the Impossible she makes her sick. Oh, it's one of them that's too realistic.
Yeah,
but they
I
are.
can see that. I mean, if it looks like ground up meat, that's the whole reason she doesn't eat that, or one of the reasons, at least.
In the future, for sure, like fast food companies and like maybe your cheaper meat, like restaurants, they're gonna use like lab created meat for that kind of thing, right? And once it gets to a point where
I don't know.
it's cheaper because like the having a bunch of cows feeding them, like that's a huge expense as opposed to creating it in the laboratory.
It does sort of change it, and I don't know why. Because there's a weird part of me that says
It'll
it
taste
should
exactly
make you
the same.
feel better to know that it was just made in like a little machine.
Well, I'm not even saying for the actual like feeling or anything. I'm saying for the cost, the company, like McDonald's. McDonald's will just buy the lab created, even though it'll be exactly the same, no difference. But
it's just we made it, man-made.
Yeah, and then people, and I'm sure like our generation, we wouldn't stand for like gross. We don't. But like my son.
Yeah, but I don't understand why that is. Because to me, it's made in a box. It should be like I should go. Oh, that's better. It's cleaner.
Yeah.
Everything is controlled. It's not a cow in a pen being hurt and being bolted through the head. Then you got to strip it of its hide and then whack it apart with an axe.
Also, like what cattle does to the environment, like a huge, like their farts are literally like contributing to global warming and stuff like this. So everything says if you're going to eat a McDonald's now, if you want like a higher quality, like beef or something, I understand maybe you go with the animal, but a McDonald's burger, that patty, who does it matter to anybody whether it's lab created or actually sort of mishmash of poorly treated beef? Like,
I mean, it's already a mishmash of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Then I'm okay with that. Just don't talk about it.
Yeah, well, they probably have to. It'll probably be.
Say it a couple times initially when you roll it out, but then just put fine print in.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be okay with it.
Like when you say that your nuggets are all white meat, we know it's not real meat. It's like spongy.
Yeah.
It's just ground and reformed.
There's some meat in there, but yeah.
Yeah. And we're all okay with that, but it's for some reason
under the guise of it being meat.
Yeah. It's our younger generations will probably slowly be fine with it, and then it'll soon be like all fast food.
Make a lot of vegetarians.
Yeah, or
like, at least increase the amount, I would imagine.
People that eat meat, they want the man-made meat instead of like from cattle or whatever, and that'll probably be a future thing.
I want to print my own meat.
I'm sure
that'd be pretty dope, right? I'm like, Andrea's like, hey, I want a steak tonight. And I'm like, well, let me go to my meat printer.
3D printer?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, how big do you want it? 8 ounce? Oh, no. She's like, no, 6 is 4. 6 is fine. I'll give you a 6 ounce filet. I'll print this up.
Isn't that how or some
There is a company that does that.
But that's
gross looking, though.
The man-made meat, that's how they do it, right? I don't understand what that even means.
Couldn't tell you
what that, but I think it involves some sort of
you think we could try and get somebody on from one of these companies to describe the process of making their meat?
Yeah. Because
I like it. I've had the one that I had was impossible, and I thought it was awesome. Like,
no. That's different. I've never.
Oh, you mean the 3D printed meat?
I'm talking about it's biologically the same meat. The Beyond stuff is that.
Oh, you mean like genetically made meat?
Genetically made. Yeah. I'm not talking about like a plant-based.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about literally biologically it is meat. It's exactly the same as beef. It's just made in a lab instead of from an animal. That's what I was talking about. So, not that everything would be like Beyond Burger and stuff like, but I do think a lot of it would move that way. It's like, okay, you can get a plant-based meat, you can get a lab meat, or you can get real meat. I bet you there'll be like those options.
I'm also wondering it's kind of like the Tesla. I'm also wondering what will be the outcome of like these particular processes to create this man-made protein product. What is its byproduct? Like, what is its waste product? What will it do to the
everything
to the earth? Or
there's no free lunch. Everything is going to do something, but probably not as bad. Even if it's the exact same, I'm saying the companies would probably like a McDonald's. Like, well, I'm going to go with whatever's cheaper. And so if there's no way that right now, probably because there's not a huge infrastructure for it, but lab made meat is going to be cheaper than having hundreds of acres of cattle and then the slaughtering them all and what goes on with processing that meat to the man-made. It's like the man-made diamonds and what it costs to mine diamonds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like cheaper to just to produce
absolutely
them.
Cheaper, and it's the same chemically. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, but still psychologically different in people's eyes. If you show a man-made diamond and then a lab, and we talked to David Layer about it from Goldsmith, and it's still there's that thing where it's like the mined one is more valuable and means more, which is bizarre. But
that's just how our culture is.
Exactly.
Like name brands versus just like a quote-unquote knockoff.
But the cool thing
I don't care about name brands.
If you don't care about it, then you get to benefit from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can buy a diamond that's, exactly the same.
Better.
Yeah, or bigger and better and not spend as much money. It just really depends on where, how it's going to sit with you.
Yeah.
But it's even bizarre, too, that it has to be a diamond. Why couldn't it be the replica of a diamond? You couldn't tell by your eye. You know what I'm saying?
I can't tell.
I guess it's just a value thing. It's like, this thing is worth this.
Well, they've said that, like one of the reasons why I enjoy these dumb jewelry, like QVC-styled networks is they go through and they start talking about all these other types of gemstones that are so crazy you'd never even know that they were around. And there's an abundance of them. But truthfully, if you look at some of them, they're super pretty. They're really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's happenstance that diamond got picked over, let's say, like lucite or something. Yeah,
some weird quartz thing of the like.
It's just rando.
Also, and then like ruby and emerald and stuff like. There's other things.
Just kind of goes down the line.
I wonder. It probably has to do with how rare they are too. It's like
but you could control that too if you have all of them, right? You lock them up and you control the rarity of the.
So they do with everything.
It's weird, man. It's really, but that's one of the reasons why I got sucked into those stupid shows is because there's so many different gems that we don't even know about.
Yeah,
like that guy will say, this is a natural, the reason this is expensive is a natural gemstone. I'm like, I've never heard of that before.
Right.
Literally probably just the same as a ruby. The only thing is we don't know about this one and we know about a ruby.
Popular.
And that's all, It's all about like, what are people willing to pay for anything? The value of it is all BS.
Yeah, we've made it up. We've made up the value.
Yeah. And that's a weird thing too.
Yeah,
where you start looking at how society is,
but go to TomandDan.com and check out our merch section.
All made from premium Chinese garlic.
Yeah, we make everything here in the good old US of A after it's shipped to us from China.
It is shipped after it's shipped from China from USA.
Yeah.
From the good old USA.
St. Cloud, Florida.
First responders.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here. Guys, if you don't know that we do a video component of the show every single day, well, I'm yelling it at you right now. You can go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We have a wonderful chat room with lots of our chat room listeners in there right now. You can chat, you can talk, you can watch the show, make new friends, send the show some tips. We record those shows and we put them on YouTube every single day. Just search Tom and Dan Live.
Let's do some Who's Porkin'.
All right. Why is it so low? Because I potted it down for EJ. Here we go. In recent days, it's been harder for me to think of these songs. It's because my brain is rotten. I keep telling my wife there is something wrong. She says it's just grief. That's what happens. And eventually you'll have to wait out time. And then I grab the knife and I polish it. And I look at her throat. Shave my hair off.
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue right there in downtown Apopka. Swing by Porky's. Porky's Apopka.
Gotta work on that. So this week, I was going to do the Carol Baskins came out as bisexual. Well, no, I don't even know. Like you said, Tom, I'm not really sure if she just randomly put that out there or if she was in an interview and somehow it came out. But instead,
I don't know why anybody would even ask.
Well,
that.
She's pretty nutty. Let's we all can agree on that, right?
She lives
she's an eclectic person.
Yeah, she lives a.
Who knows what nutty people or why they do nutty things?
She's just a crazy cat.
But instead, I went with Aunt Anstead. You guys familiar?
Aunt Anstead.
Wait, that's the pretzel lady.
It's a guy.
Oh.
He is one of the hosts of the show Wheelers Dealers. And he also is married to,
Wheelers Dealers. He's a auto guy, right? So he does a lot of stuff for Channel 4, like a lot of the car show presentations like
and stuff.
Like the Meekum stuff? Like the...
Not familiar.
Not the auctions?
I don't follow any of that.
Car auctions?
But he's married to a woman named Christina Anstead, and they have recently separated. But he has come out on Instagram saying that he is going through a breakup recovery course.
All right. What is that?
I don't know. It's a 5-week program.
5 weeks?
Yeah. And it's supposed to help you
get off heroin earlier than that.
So is this like a mental this is like a well-being thing, right?
Yes, it's supposed to help you after a traumatic breakup and get you back out there.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
On the course of recovery.
No, actually
healing.
But for breakups though, I mean you could use it for anything. Well, I'm going to curse. I could use it right now. I'm kind of doing it on my own, right? I mean, when you have something that hits your brain sideways and you don't process it well, is it such a bad thing to try to
I agree. Everyone should go
yourself?
to a therapist and work on their mind. Obviously, that's healthy for you, but
it's supposed to help you grieve your relationship so you can let it go and regain your identity.
Going to a 5-week breakup course because you're grieving over, I mean, how long were they together?
Quite a few years.
They got any kids?
From 2005 to 2018 they got married and they separated September.
Okay, so
that's pretty new.
Like a couple of years.
I mean, like I could see it like right now if I have, with my kid and I've been with my wife 10, 11 years. You know what I mean? Like I could see maybe needing something like that.
Can you just go to your therapist and work it out with them? That you have to go to a retreat or some sort of.
They're both reality TV stars because she's also on a Flip or Flop, one of those HGTV like house flipping shows.
Yeah.
So I always feel like when there's two like reality people, there seems to be a lot of stress on the relationship.
Also, people don't really live their lives. Those type of people, at least
doesn't seem very authentic.
Well, this is my observation. Yeah, it ties into that. I don't feel like that. At some point, they stop living their lives even for themselves, and they start living their lives for what the outward appearance would mean.
Right.
Yeah. So, what you're saying, going to your therapist quietly and working on it,
it's not far,
and then exercising and then doing meditation every afternoon, isn't the correct answer in reality star. I need to tweet about this world.
Dude, so he put this on his Instagram and then it's like bogus. Link in bio because he's trying to basically sell this program for what it seems like. Yeah, so it looks like he's being sponsored by this breakup recovery program.
That's dangerous to me, and at some point that you're just taking advantage of people that are hurting like you, and maybe you're not hurting that bad. But I don't like that. Well, that sucks.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's
hopefully it's not nefarious, but it sort of sounds like it, right? Sounds like very.
It's basic like what you did in radio or anything else. It's this happened to you or this is happening to you. Use this company. They're paying for the advertisement for you to promote it.
Right.
So it's like, all right. Then,
or maybe he worked out a deal where maybe it's a really expensive program and they're like, hey, we'll give you this free therapy if you, promote it. He grifted it maybe.
With how big he is, they're paying him. Like, I
think so too.
Yeah. It's probably like he broke up, they went to him like, hey, you can go through the program, but we'll also pay you to promote it. It's a perfect opportunity.
Has he been through it or going through it currently?
He is currently going through it. He's on just past day 30 of this program.
Is it somewhere like you go to a place?
According to the website, the brand offers courses, retreats, coaching, and a podcast to help people design the life and love they've longed for.
Well, that's what we need to do, dude. You don't think for a second that you and I could sit here
Maybe we should check out the podcast.
Write up some crappy, here's how to mend your life, and then we can throw a bunch of garbage out to people that listen to us daily?
I know, it doesn't.
The courses involve daily videos, emails, exercises, and worksheets.
I could totally do this.
This is my arch enemy of everything. It's like a positive.
I gotta work,
but it's
in relationships.
But it's also like hey, we're gonna work on your. But I understand it though.
It could work for people,
of course, and I understand that like you gotta.
It's just not for you.
Like you go through programs, retreats, or whatever, like relationship building, strength building, emotional, like make yourself better. I get it. It's just, it seems like anybody that would be involved in these programs, I'm so opposite of that. Of like, I'm going to it because like,
so if you needed to get over it, what would be your process? So if this is like the 180, like
they just don't talk about it, just go on, push it down.
But what if you wanted to do? Is there a language that somebody could speak to you to possibly hit a note that would resonate with you enough to do the therapy in some weird way?
I don't know. Because in one aspect, I don't want to be...
Because you're not anti it at all.
No.
And that's why I'm asking the question, because I want people to understand the difference between him being... He's not saying he's anti it. No. He's just saying that
100% believe in therapy.
Yeah, this is not your thing. I'm trying to think as a caring person...
Believe everybody should
what I need to do to get Tom involved in the beneficial aspect of therapy, but I have to get past that hurdle of the stuff that he hates.
I just don't think it's for me. And I think
that's the thing.
Like programs and like going to somewhere and like getting like teamwork with other people.
What about like a one-on-one scenario?
Like going to a therapist like once a month or whatever it is, and just talking to a therapist about things.
That'd be more your speed.
Yeah, I understand.
Quietly, therapists never say a word about it. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
But the grandiose team building. There is this. I look like that vow and all the men that were in the vow,
the protectors,
and that were in this particular like program to try to help themselves with all the like be a better leader and all this stuff. Like all those guys, I'm like, God, I can't see myself hanging out with any of them. Like none. Like it seems like they all have some sort of trait that is not attractive to me, and I'm like, I don't want to hang out with these guys.
What do you say?
I don't know why. This is a weird thing.
This is from
nothing bad about them. I just don't like them.
Our Twitch chat room. Kareem rises to the top. Says Tom would need to know he's not going through therapy for it to be successful. Do you agree with that?
What do you mean?
Like, I guess he's saying that in order
it'd have to be under the guise of not being therapy.
Yeah, like you'd almost have to be secretly involved in therapy.
We'd have to trick you, basically.
I've tried. The problem with me is that
Tom's not at all anti-therapy. That's another thing I want. I just want to preface it by saying he encourages me. In fact, he'll be the first one to come to me and go like, dude, when's the last time you went to therapy? You might need to step it up.
Yeah, no, man.
Get back in there.
When I've done therapy, I've gone there for I want to fix a specific thing, and then when I realize, and the therapist says, like, it's getting, it's not just about fixing this thing. It's there's more time, and it's all mixed into them.
Sure.
I'm like, I got it. And then I,
see, that's an honest answer. That's an honest answer, though. I respect the answer.
And then I'm like, I get it. It's more time, and the thing, there's no fixing this thing.
Thank you, sir. You've got 45 minutes left. There he goes. But he got what he needed, so that's okay.
I don't think he did, though.
So like, what's your problem? This is my problem. Like, well, this will fix this. It's everything my wife hates.
Because it doesn't work that way.
I know, but
you got to put time and effort into.
By the way, I actually kind of got into us talking about this because I do find it fascinating that because you would just have to get the correct language.
Fix.
Yeah, but you just need the correct language with him, and then you get in there. Yeah. If you can get in there.
And I'm sure everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's got a different language. I don't want to use the term love language because we're not really talking about that, but everybody has a certain way that the communication will resonate with them, will hit their brain right. But this is interesting. This is very interesting because it's one of those things where
if it's not a scam,
right? Okay, you're taking my point.
I think that it actually is a good program to have because some people do have a really bad time with dealing with breakups.
I agree.
And sometimes do, harmful things to themselves or other people.
Like Juan said, he said some breakups can be very extreme because, newsflash, some people can be very extreme. So that I understand. In fact, I'm trying to think of people like I probably have a tendency, and I'm going to guess that Butler would have a tendency to take our breakups harder than anybody else out of the four of us. It would be me and Butler would obsess more because I think we're more sensitive. Mm-hmm. I think we are. You and Tom, though, I think would grieve in a more similar, maybe more private, maybe more guarded. I maybe wouldn't be able to read you. Does that make sense?
Probably.
Yeah. You're very hard to read. That's why I always say, like in simple terms, it's very hard to play poker with you.
It's the simplest explanation, though. It's like a magician. You think there's some complicated thing. There's no complicated. Right. It's like I'm. There's nothing behind my actions.
Right.
I don't have any
it's just the thing.
Manipulation or whatever.
No, I believe that.
It's just like I'm just telling you. That's why I like more of like someone just tell me without any sort of weird like motivation behind it. Just like here it is. All right, okay, that's it. But It's just so hard for me, and I understand I need to get better at this, but for me just not be like, come on, it's a breakup, just get over it. Fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Yeah. And this is I'm trying to fix, but it's hard for me to be like, come on, be stronger than that.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
That's my initial feeling. I know it's wrong. Everybody's different. You should always strive to make yourself better and to help yourself. If this helps you, good for you. Whatever.
What has affected you the most on your would it be your brother, your dad, probably your bro, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. Like for me, it'd be mom, even more over dad. I'm trying to think of a good one though, and trying to pull this out of like death. I'm trying to think of things that have happened, like having Maisie. Yeah. Got to put that on the good side of things that tick. But I'm with you. Like in first.
But Tom hasn't even had a breakup. So maybe this kind of plays.
I wonder if that plays into
it. Of like, get over it. It's just a breakup. But like, you haven't had a breakup.
How many breakups have you had?
Really, just one major one.
Yeah, I've had
high school boyfriend.
I've had two big ones. Two big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of equate it. I can understand, equate it as it's not as bad as a death, but it's got to be in a Venn diagram of like similar feelings. Like you lost
someone. It's the death
someone.
of a relationship. You're losing them
so
as your partner.
I'll put it to you this way: it feels like death until you experience death.
Yeah, and my way of coping with things is just to be like, all right, move on, and then never,
never think about it again.
Yeah, and honestly,
that's not healthy.
But there are elements
of that are healthy.
And
a therapist told me, is like, if that's the way you deal with it, and it's not affecting you in your life negatively that you could see or you could even point back to, then that's some way people deal with it. And then and then I was like, all right, bye bye, because all the other you got to re-ink.
Yeah, but the therapist saying if you looking back isn't affecting your life, maybe you don't realize it's affecting your life, but it has. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's if there's evidence of it, but if there's not, then you
tend to overlook a lot of things.
Well, but saying that's the the causation of this, then I understand. Then it's like, oh yeah, you have to fix this problem if it's causing this. So it's like, if you dealing with something poorly is causing you to be an addict or overdo anything, then it's like, that needs to be fixed. But if you can't see the correlation with any sort of problems, I have a lot of problems and I don't equate any a death or me dealing with feelings to them.
Yeah.
And there's really no evidence pointing that, then it's like, okay, well then that's it. It's like,
I have a problem going through, to go back to this guy's or this particular place's 5-week course.
Right.
I think this is something you and I share, Tom. I have a problem going through the course when you're telling me things that I know. Yes. I'm not ready to convince myself that you are correct yet. I know you're right.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to go there yet.
A lot of them, they tell you stuff you know how to do, and now they help you get to doing those things, and maybe that's the point. It's like anybody could do, okay, if you want to lose weight, there's not a secret. It's literally everybody can do it, right? And now there's different. If you have a medical problem, that's different. And obviously, besides the anomalies,
generally,
there's an
eat
accepted
healthy, exercise.
Yeah, there's an accepted way that everybody knows how to do. But we pay a lot of money to a lot of people, to a lot of different things, companies and stuff,
and we still fail.
And then
it's hard,
when we could do it for free, so it's like, yes, sometimes you do need a personal trainer. I got a trainer that I go to because I am accountable.
Helps motivate you,
yeah, but I have an appointment, so I understand that. The same thing with the therapist I've gone to before.
Sometimes it's just the routine of
and I haven't in a long time, but it's like, and I totally support that, and I think everybody should do it because it's like that. It's like the working out. It's like you need to go and work it out.
It's beneficial for sure.
A lot of it is you just talking it out yourself, and then you find the answers.
I honestly don't believe my therapist has said more than, I'm being real with you guys, maybe more than 100 words in 2 years. Yeah. Because I just kind of barf. When I get in there, it's nice to just go in there and just kind of barf it out.
But then with these programs and the retreats and things, there's a business behind it. And then that's where it becomes like, all right, are you out to truly... Now, I assume that they are probably, is like they've set this up to help people, right?
Yeah.
But they have also a business. They're out there to make money. So then there's a little bit of conflict of interest, right?
Sure.
Going into it, because you're paying for money for a retreat. and it's hard to see if there's success at the end. Like if you go into a rehab, the success is if you stay off the drugs, right?
Right. Yeah.
With this, it's like, all right,
you're dealing with thoughts, and that's hard, man.
5 weeks later, I think it's very personal, and it depends on the person. Are they going to be better at 5 weeks? How much work are you going to put into it?
Right.
Like, how much are you going to do the
I go into these type of things automatically.
Magic.
And yeah, I'm just saying this, and maybe you do this too. And again, another reason why you and I are probably in business together. When I go to any doctor, whether it's a medical doctor, whether I go to my shrink, anybody, I'm going to this retreat, I immediately think I'm smarter than the person I'm talking to.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Immediately I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're good they might be better at that particular job than I could ever be, but I'm the top dog in any of those scenarios.
See, I try to figure out too many. Crystal yells, she's like, quit trying to figure everything out. It doesn't have to be figured out.
I also,
like, all right.
Anytime I'm in a room, anytime I'm in a room with people, I think at any moment, some sort of alien or robot life form could come and lock us into this room. So then I immediately, no matter who I'm in the room with, size them up and see whether or not I can beat them up, or B, I can have sex with them.
Okay, yeah. That's,
I was going to say me too until you said that last part.
Well, you got to do a little bit of both. You got to defend yourself, and then you got to repopulate the earth.
Yeah, that's, the insanity.
Right. Well, that's right about the shrink.
Right. You
guys are idiots.
Bongo, back to the therapy.
Jesus Christ.
So
I hope it works out for him. I don't know. His ex-wife. Well, they've separated. They haven't actually, I think, divorced quite yet. But maybe they have. She's moved on. She's posting pics on a yacht that she just bought. She's fine. He's working on himself.
Okay, let's talk about this aspect, because Crystal told me this, and she's like, once I decided I don't love you anymore, that's it. Can never go back. Let's hope that never happens, because
Whoa, what kind of dinner conversation?
Dude,
that's in the morning when I wake up.
I'm like, oh my God, that was heavy.
And you also said it like in the beginning as if she already decided. Because you said, when I decided.
It sounded like she was like waking you up. She's like, hey,
listen,
wake up, good morning.
I decided I don't love you anymore. What?
She's told me,
the whole chat room's like, good Christ.
No, come on. You girl, you're ever too sensitive here. That's what I live with. Every morning I wake up.
Oh, man.
Tell me
like, dude, you are ready for war.
No wonder you don't have any feelings.
This slap my face.
This guy's ready for battle.
No,
oh my God.
I said it in a wrong inflection.
You're like the mountain of marriages.
I understand what she's saying.
She's just saying
once the love's gone, there's not really a way for her to get it back.
And she's like,
that's with all women.
I think women can cut their feelings off and then be like, have no more. Guys are way more, I feel like, could say a harsh thing, but really be like, and then be sick over it for longer.
Yeah, I can find a reason to fall back in love with anybody.
Yeah, like I feel like the guy mopes around for longer.
I think that depends. I think it's different.
If it's a women's choice. No, another thing. If she gets broken up on, like,
okay.
But once she decides, I think she can clean cut and move on with her life.
We like to be nurtured and baby because we're babies. Yeah. And I feel like we're more babyish when these things happen than you guys are. You guys are more motherly, which is, I'm going in a different direction. I'm taking care of everything, and we're just fat babies.
And the guy could cut it off, but then literally a week later be like, all right, back together. Like he's wishy-washy back and forth. Like I think once the woman, for the most part,
I've never seen a woman go back.
They could cut it, and then and once their feelings are gone, then that was it.
Yeah.
So
it's happened to me too. I've had girls be like, and I'm like, take me back, baby.
To me though,
it ain't happening. I didn't do nothing.
It's okay. So I think this is the hardest. I just need to understand it, and I have a hard time understanding.
Wait, what did your wife say? Stop trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I know.
Now he understands it.
I need to figure this. So, but okay, you break up with your wife, and then you have no kids, so there's no kids involved, and you still love her, but the things
just doesn't work out.
Like usually, it's a lot of things over time, right? It's not just like all of a sudden you're blindsided in one morning.
You just realize it one day in traffic, and then you know what you have to do.
Sometimes, but that's probably rare.
You start crying.
But So for me, it's like, all right, we're broken up, and she didn't leave it open up a possibility to get back together. There's not like, well, let's take a break. Maybe if you prove to me, like, there's nothing there's none of.
By the way, I'm not doing that. I'm not a knight. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm not going to slay a dragon. Yeah. Take me for what I am.
So so if you know that and it's truly over, to me, it's like, what? I know you're sad about it. You want to be with this person, but all right, you got to move on. Like that's maybe because I'm emotionally dead.
I got to kill her, bro.
Because for me, it's like, what? Why are you letting it affect your life? There's nothing you can do.
That's a good attitude to have.
But I understand that's not how people feel.
Not everyone.
Not everyone.
A lot of people would want to fight for their relationship.
Yeah. But if you know there's no chance, if she told you that...
Yeah, but people will justify that there's a chance in their head.
Well, I always think there's a chance because, remember, I'm top dog in every scenario.
Right. But he's not going to this retreat because he thinks he can get her back. He's going to this retreat to try to deal with the breakup.
I think he knows at this point there's no...
So that's when I'm like, all right, well, just... move on with your life. Why? Like, why do you have to go and deal? What are you thinking about? What are you dealing with? The fact that you still have feelings with her? Of course you do.
The only way...
that's what he's dealing with.
That'll fade over time.
Yeah, but you don't believe
he's trying to speed it up with a 5-week course.
Can you?
I don't know. Find out at the end of this 5 weeks.
How much is it? Let's take the course.
Yeah, it takes 5 weeks to forget about it.
You just paid me for your own time.
Yeah, the course was just, they figured out a way to a middleman make money. They're like, anybody breaks up, like the normal time.
It takes about 5 weeks to get over.
Yeah, we'll just invent this course. You pay us $3,500. For the virtual course you take online, and you're going to forget it.
You know what?
We should do that.
At the top, I just clicked on the link for the website, and at the top it says, need boundaries? This course is for you. You might want to sign up.
Yeah, let's take it.
Boundaries for what? Boundaries. Why do I put myself in boundaries? It's a cage. I need it free.
Oh, no.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler is here. The fish are here. The studio's rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the Weird Job Wednesday song goes...
No, we got new ones.
We got new ones? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I've been going back through and finding a few. We have a new one that was gifted to us, from Joey.
Okay. All right.
Because remember, I think it was maybe even last week, I said, hey, Joey, I said, I think we got one from Joey. I played it, and then it was just a regular voicemail. And for whatever reason, when he sends me a theme song, it's in a movie format.
Okay.
Which is odd. But here we go. So this is a new Weird Job Wednesday theme song from Joey.
I get up around 8 for a job that I hate, and the pay isn't great, so I'll probably be late. It's a boring ass job, but I'm working it 9 to 5. I'll put on Tom and Dan because they have a plan. Well, they don't have a plan. Well, there's kind of a plan. It's a bomb ass show, so I'll listen to it anyway. Thank you, Tom. Are you a big fat slob? Everybody, come on. Do you love your job? Everybody, today on a Weird Job Wednesday, let's all enjoy this great Florida weather, and I'll shut up. Pariah Mike does it better all day on a Weird Job Wednesday. So the week's almost done. Make an ABC run. Grab some White Claw for fun. Grab a drink in the sun and give True Leaf a call. Gotta tip my delivery guy. Green Supplies. Are you a big fat slob? Everybody, come on. Do you love your job? Everybody, today on a Weird Job Wednesday. The good news is if they
There's like 5 more voices.
Oh, man.
We're not done yet.
Okay. So yay. Still a Weird Job Wednesday.
No,
all right.
I was waiting for that.
Now, was that an original? Or was that supposed to be a parody? I don't know. I wasn't familiar with that.
I thought it was at first some song like new song.
What do I look like, Mr. Music? What do I look like, a touch?
I thought you were Mr. Music.
I think he made this up. Like he wrote a song and he played piano and sung the song.
Yeah.
It was just crazy
That's
hard.
what people can do that.
It's too much effort, Joey.
Joey, we need a ragtime edition of Weird Job Wednesday, please.
You wrote a song, you played piano and sung the song at the same time, recording it, then you mastered it together.
Then Tom he wanted it to end, and he's like, we gotta get to the thing.
No.
You were uncomfortable towards the end.
I get uncomfortable.
If I had made you sit through another 5 seconds, you couldn't have done it.
No,
you could have done it. And then for the whole time,
twitching.
I don't know if you know this, but on Twitch, I just put the camera on you during the entire song.
Don't do that. You're showing the people.
I'm showing the people how uncomfortable you are,
yeah.
And they love it. They're like, "This is my favorite thing when Dan puts on just Tom Cam and we watch it. He's sweating. Look at him sweat because that guy on the spectrum wrote a song and Tom can't handle when people do things.
Yeah. It's like Ghostbusters crossing the street. My spectrum is crossing.
Oh my God!
I'm like, yo, it's getting me. I'm like, no. I don't know why it makes me uncomfortable. Like Joey's the nicest guy in the world, and he's talented, and he's doing the song, and I'm like, please stop.
And this is the guy. This is the guy that you.
I'm joking.
It's a little long.
He also in this email he sent this song, and at the very end he said, "Tell Tom I have a flawless new parlay theory that he's going to want to jump on." I swear to God, it said that. So I mean, sure, crap all over the guy that you call up to get all of your special needs gambling knowledge, but when he shares his true talent, which is literally he can sit down and just tickle the ivories and sing beautifully, and you get uncomfortable and you want,
He's so nice that no matter what I say on this, he'll still help me because that's how nice he is.
Well,
I know that.
Well, one day you'll. Well, that is true. But if you do this like 6-7 more times, he won't ever turn his back on you. Ever. But he will kill you.
Yeah.
Because if he can't have you, no one can have you.
But he'll look you in the eye while he's doing it.
He'll kill me out of love. Which I'm fine with.
But then then most people won't know because he'll have to take your corpse with him wherever he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, no, just my head and my hands.
Is that the rule?
Right. Yeah. Dental records and fingerprints, yes.
Yeah,
I feel like I would stick both your hands in my back pockets. And then I just carry your head under my arm like a football.
Yeah. You could do it that way.
And I'd be nude. So there's no pockets. I can make some out of saran wrap. Hey, on line 1, we got Angry Dan.
Yeah. How you doing, Dan?
I'm well. That song, the first verse, really describes me every morning, and it was so long, I have to go back to work now. So
No!
I forgot.
I'm kidding.
Don't do it again.
That was a long pause. Same song.
Oh, God. Sorry, that was the breath.
Yeah.
He took a breath.
I was supposed to do the sponsor there.
That was the stretch your legs.
Yeah. By the way,
7th verse stretch.
Our sponsor, StreamlineFlorida.com. Get a refi or mortgage with Streamline Florida.
You know what's not streamlined? That song.
What's the opposite of that?
I don't
long
know.
line.
It's like stream. What's the opposite of a stream? River. A river? A
long ocean.
Ocean.
Sorry. Dan, what do you do for a living?
I am a freight forwarder. Basically, if you want to import or export something, you probably can do it, but it's very difficult and you won't want to, so you hire somebody like me.
All right.
Oh, can you get us a shipping container?
I can lease a shipping container. You want to buy one?
Yeah. What do they cost?
I don't know. I'd lease them just for the trip, to wherever it's going. You usually get a fixed amount of time, but most of the stuff we do is... Go ahead.
Butler wants to live in one.
Yeah, well, you have to bury it, and you make a container
bunker.
house.
Yeah,
bunker. They're good for like super retro,
little houses.
Yeah. You put
a lot of them are all rusty and corroded, and they'll leak in water and things. They are not airtight, watertight.
Yeah. We just put some caulking on there.
Yeah, it's fine. Put a wallpaper on it.
So. Import-export, so you're a third-party company that basically helps me ship, like let's say I want to ship a car to Europe.
We don't move vehicles.
Oh, no. Well, that's all I want to do, Dan.
Well, you're not
that's all I want to do.
You're not going to work with Dan.
All right, so like moving, like
how about an animal? Can I get a parrot?
Hold on, my wife used to do this. She used to work for a company that did only international shipping, and her company had like eBay and Google
look at this guy.
and some other. Well, that was their clients, and so she
did personal effects too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do personal effects either. We do commercial shipments. Personally, I specialize in a lot of live animals and defense products.
Whoa! You ever brought in a duck?
How many ducks?
No duck. Rhinoceros, 11 elephants, cheetahs, monkey.
Hold on.
Wait, you said
spiders,
monkeys?
scorpions,
so
snakes.
only one monkey?
So let's go back to elephants, Dan. Okay, so how do you go about shipping an elephant?
So this was the biggest shipment I've ever had to handle. This was a guy in Africa. They were shipping 4 elephants to a zoo in Tampa, and the other 7 were going on to California. And PETA tried to sue them to stop it. They stood up in court and said they'd rather the elephants die than spend one day in a zoo, and so that's when the judge gave the green light to let this all happen. And then real quick, like, we put this all together on a charter flight so that PETA didn't have time to organize against it. We basically put them on a charter 747.
My God, you're a hero.
The floors have rollers on them, so you can just roll whatever you have on them right up to the door. We had a crane to lift them up and put them on a flatbed, tarped them over, and had a police escort back to the zoo from the Tampa International Airport.
Wow.
So,
you got to clear fish and wildlife, agriculture, customs.
If you get into an accident and you're pulling elephants, they all die, right? I mean, you got to shoot them all.
Yeah, you won't.
Because your 18-wheeler goes over, and those things, when they fall, I mean, they don't just get back up. Ouchie! It's more like they fell, their leg exploded. You got to go bolt its head.
Their weight of their body will crush their rib cage.
Yeah, like fat people.
Are they in a cage? Like
no.
Yeah, so it was like a metal or a steel. It was like a steel cage, and the bottom half was sealed up. So it was like a solid metal base, and then about waist high, it went to bars, like a cage that you would expect. And one of the elephants had his trunk hanging out, and put it on my shoulder while we were doing the inspection with Fish and Wildlife. You could see them; they were a little bit doped up just to kind of keep them calm, but they were still awake and standing and everything. We got up there. Fish and Wildlife does the inspection. Agriculture does the inspection. Customs and Border Protection does the inspection. They give us the green light, and we take them off.
So what does it cost if you want to ship
11 elephants?
Yeah, well, how many elephants total?
That was 11. It was 7 to one location and 4 to the other.
All right, so shipping 11 elephants, what's that going to run me?
Oh, well, you charter the aircraft, right? You could put 1 elephant on it or however many it can fit. You're paying for that full aircraft, and that was...
I mean, at our 10-year anniversary, I saw 11 elephants arrive in an F-150.
Oh, my God.
Goddamn, that would...
I think those were hippos,
sir. So, okay, you just charter the plane, and whatever the hell you put in there weight-wise, it's up to you.
Correct. Well, I mean, at that point, but generally what we do is we are just taking a particular amount of space or weight from an airline like British Airways or Delta or something like that. Not everything we do is a charter.
Do you have a guy that rides in the back with a pith helmet and a whip? Because that's what I want. And then a tiny revolver in case things go wrong. Yeah. Like, is there some sort
Stampede!
Is there a whipman back there just in case they get crazy?
There's a veterinarian with some drugs.
Okay.
Hey, these are great drugs, man. Are we there yet?
It's a different time. What happened to the old traditional whipman?
Back in, you know the country's changed a lot. When you're transporting elephants, you don't even have a goddamn whipman on it.
You got a doctor with a syringe.
They got the whipman sampler? The whipman sampler was the treats he gave the whipman when he's whipping those elephants' toes off. He's just whipping.
You would send him a sampler so the whipman wouldn't get hungry on the run.
Hey, Whitman,
it's a Whitman sampler.
You've been softening up. I sent you the sampler so you'll whip them good.
I think you guys on Friday talked about those rats, that giant pouched rat that finds landmines in Africa.
Yeah,
Seth story.
Or Seth talked about it. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you mixed up.
I did give him more details.
That's what I
because
thought.
Seth is.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't get killed.
I'm importing those in 2 days, actually, into Chicago.
Whoa, what? Chicago!
Why they bring them to Chicago?
They love the Bulls.
there's a zoo in Indianapolis that wants them.
The mine rats? The poor countries of the mines need them.
Don't lock those up. They're the only ones we got. We need those running through every field we have.
We're like, look at these rats. They can find fake mines. We're like, people are dying.
Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up.
So, okay, so you do commercial, and now... Do you have to know all the laws because...
You can't import that. That's an Egyptian sarcophagus.
Well, my wife went through this. With international shipping, every different country has different rules and things. And she's seen, there have been huge problems because you didn't know what you could and couldn't bring into a company or to a country. And then they find it, and then they're like, hey, you're going to jail for this. And they're like, what? I didn't know. And you're like, yeah, you're going to jail. And
I told my wife to take all of the teens out of my drawers before we ship them.
So, do you have to be familiar with all the countries' import and export laws?
Yes, kind of. I mean, I'm not going to put in all that time to memorize. There's enough regulations in the U.S. I can keep track of those, much less all the other parts of the world. So we rely on an agent network where if you want to bring something from France, I talk to my French agent and I say, hey, what do we need for this? And then they tell me, and we rely on their expertise in their side, and they rely on our expertise on our side.
Gotcha. Okay.
They can come back to screw us if we're dealing with somebody like you who's just tell them what they want to hear. I don't know, just do it.
Oh wow!
How'd you know my business plan?
Yeah. Did you read my diary?
Have you reading my business book? So
you couldn't think of a title either. Could you? Both of us are like, that's how you know we're getting older. Like, think of a title. And I'm like, he'll say it. And I was like, what's it called? Art of the Deal. Just make Art of the Deal something stupid and then yell it at him. You idiot. And I couldn't do Fart of the Deal.
And then,
Pizza party for Sam.
And then I was like, he'll do it.
It's a pretty sad day when I can't even muster out and squeak out one little fart of the deal.
So, what about,
what's the weirdest?
Your job sucks.
What?
This is the first one.
No, this is a great
can't
job.
come up with anything.
No, tell me
so boring.
What is the weirdest thing that you've ever imported? That, like you said, you specialize in animals, but what's maybe the two questions? Sorry to hit you with a Tom because I know he's the king of the twofer. But first question would be strangest thing you've imported, and then my follow up to that would be: have you ever had something that you thought was going to be a relatively piece of cake, bringing it in, and it just became a logistical nightmare?
This thing, we brought in elephant semen. They brought in some from an elephant somewhere so that they could run some tests and put it in the database and, I don't know, artificially inseminate or something, trying to classify that material. Every item that you bring in has a tariff number, and trying to figure out what the tariff number was for was quite complicated. But we figured that out and brought in the tube of...
Everybody knows it's number 4.
Yeah. Say number 4, sir. Yeah. We have to bleep out the J word. I don't know for certain, but I think we do.
You should be able to say it.
Yeah.
But
I want to say it.
Yeah, I want.
Oh, I apologize. I forgot. This is ACT.
No, you're good. I want to import the J word.
Yeah, you may be able to say it. I don't really know the rules
have to
anymore.
Look into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could make up a word that sounds worse than J word.
Right.
And as far as things going wrong, that happens all the time. I mean, there's problems. There's flights that are canceled. There's stuff that goes to the wrong country because it was put on the wrong flight. Probably the biggest thing that we were involved with, this was not our mistake, but we ended up having to fix it for a different freight forwarder who made the mistake. They shipped a U.S. Licensed by the Department of State prototype missile to Cuba by mistake, and this was when we weren't exactly friends with Cuba.
Oh, God.
And the Cubans took it and, of course, tore it apart and tried to get whatever data they could from it, and we were the ones who ended up bringing it back from Cuba, and it was on a charter aircraft. It was actually the big corporation's private plane that went down there and brought it back, and with a State Department official on board and the rest of it, and that was serious because that's, military secrets that we went to. Not even like we sent it to Canada where they shouldn't have it, but it's okay because we're friendly. We sent it to like one of the worst places, Cuba. Well, I didn't send it, but
that's
somebody
a good
sent
one.
it to Cuba.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I mean, when they take, I always wonder like who's taking it apart. Do they have like a
the videos
missile
I've
specialist?
Seen, no, the videos I've seen like in other countries of them tearing apart our technology. It's usually like the people doing it, and they're usually like you and me.
Yeah, they're whipping their sandals. I'm like, these guys, they're not getting any military. They don't even know what it does.
They're using their sandals to beat the windows and pee-pee on it. And I'm like, what are you finding out?
Like, they don't know how the.
That's a window used by Sandal to verify.
They're not hacking into the software. Yeah, of course. There's some circuit boards and there's explosives.
What
in
are you
there.
going to use that for?
Like a tracking system. Like
are you and your kid making a robot out of a refrigerator box? Is that why you need that circuit board?
They're not doing it. They're not finding any secrets.
Yeah. What are you opening a Skycraft? You don't know what this stuff does.
Yeah. It's so complicated.
Stop. Leave it alone.
Look around you.
Actually, I have a good idea. If everybody would stop hitting the F-16 with their flip-flops, we could get a scientist in here to study this technology.
Is there scientists? So, Dan, now you're kind of like the middleman, right? Because I love cutting out the middleman. So
yeah, you could do that if you wanted to get an account with every single airline. I mean, look, if you want to ship with Southwest Airlines to California twice weekly, then you don't really need me. You can make an account with Southwest Airlines and ship there twice weekly. But Southwest Airlines might not go to where you're looking to go, right. And so then you need another airline, and then you're going to have another account with them and all that. We have all of that taken care of. We also have negotiated rates.
Yeah, and you can go fast. Yeah, you're like boots on the ground quick.
So I'm able to move something for less per kilo than you are. And then finally, the TSA after September 11th kind of really put a jam up on everybody trying to do it themselves. You'd have to do a bunch of administrative paperwork and bureaucracy garbage to have the certification to be able to tender cargo onto a passenger plane.
You know why I like this one? I like this weird job because Dan has a job that you, of all people, would absolutely need. And because you wouldn't be able to, you hate the paperwork.
Well, that's what most middlemen, they're just like, we did the paperwork. And you're like, God, I don't want to do the paperwork. But I also like the fact
and then
you're like, I'll just pay you.
But Dan,
I don't want to.
I love Dan in the fact that you would have to use him, but you hate the fact that you have to use him. And that's why I like this. Best one we've ever done.
We get people who bring in, actually, this guy just brought in some gems. He hand-carried $40,000 worth of gems into Miami, right? And you have to make an entry for that with customs. You have to declare it. That's a full-on entry. And so they took it. And they said, you can have this back when you make an entry. So he hired us to do it. He was furious because first he's got $43,000 in gems that now he's not in possession of, and he's hoping that they make it to him, and he's got to pay more money to us to clear it for him when he thought he was going to just swing in and bring it in himself.
What an idiot. Why did you declare it?
I always carry my jewels.
I don't think he did declare it. That was part of the problem, is that he got pulled for inspection. He had them in a bag that said "Find Jewels."
No, idiot! Oh, my God. You put it in a Listerine bottle.
I was going to say you put him in an old combos wrapper and seal it back up with it.
He was having a fit because he's like, we need to make sure that this is sealed up and secured before you ship it to Orlando. And I didn't understand why he was so worried about that. Turns out when our guy in Miami picked it up, it was a bag, like a paper bag that you get from the jeweler store.
Oh, yeah, like the one they put my mom's watch in when it gets steam cleaned. I've seen those before. So,
yeah. He had 40,000 jewels in a paper bag, labeled
put that
jewels.
In a box, you idiot.
At least a box.
And then they just put it in an envelope as a whole lumpy. Mail your jewels.
Here are my jewels. Well, what can you make? What can one make being a weird shipper, ma'am?
Well, I work for a small business, right? So it's not my own company. If you do your own company, truthfully, it's not very hard to do. You just have to do all the paperwork and get. Yeah,
like if you were good at paperwork, like my wife, she loves paperwork. Like in her older years,
she could go into business herself and all the profits. She'd make all the profits. But I'm able to pull in mid-50s, and depending on the bonus, sometimes 10 more than that.
Now let me ask you, Dan.
Good. That's real good, and it's weird.
When my wife worked for, and obviously she worked for personal people moving their stuff, so it was a lot more emotions involved. But she used to hate it because every account
used to ship some pretty high-profile people.
Well, yeah, she move around like
she moved Sandusky. She moved Jared from Subway.
Epstein.
And everybody was always stressed. Like every client was stressed and mad for moving. And if anything went wrong, it would get stuck in customs, even regardless if it was her fault or if some I wasn't dotted correctly. They hold it up in customs, and they're government employees. No one's in a rush to do anything.
Right.
So next thing you know, this guy's moved into his house, his brand new mega mansion, because a lot of them are rich, in San Francisco, and all his fine furniture and everything in his house,
his gear
that he's moved from China is 2 weeks from being cleared, and he's got to live with nothing, and then they're mad. And had nothing to do. It's like, customs decided to extra check this, a random check, and now it's held for a week. And then, so she used to get super stressed out because all her clients were always mad. So do you have to deal with that, or because it's commercial, they're a little less emotional?
Oh, no. That is exactly what I deal with all the time. I break bad news to people probably 4 or 5 times a day, and they vent at me, and I don't let it affect nothing. I just listen to them and smile and laugh because they think that they're the most important thing in the world, and I've got 13 other files behind them to ruin their day too.
Well,
so
that takes a special individual to not let that negative. Like my wife, it would bother her. She'd be stressed out, thinking like, "Am I going to mess up?" And like, what if this happens? This guy's not going to get his stuff. He's going to be super mad at me.
She puts too much emotion into it.
Yeah.
Dan is.
Look, I'm not in control of it. I just tell them the facts. I'm not in control of it. If you've got a problem, you can call customs yourself. I don't recommend it because it never makes anything better. And you're just gonna have to wait. Like it's not a thing that I can. You can't buy your way out of it.
Right.
You're dealing with a customs officer. If he's going to put a hold on it, he's going to put a hold on it, and he doesn't care who you are or what your deadline is. What I deal with now more than ever is people who are delayed in their product availability, who are trying to save time or make up time in transport. So they'll give me, and in the middle of COVID, these idiots think that we're just flying the same number of flights every day. For instance, Orlando, we have barely any direct flights. The Lufthansa's not flying to Frankfurt. British Airways isn't flying to London Heathrow or Gatwick. We don't have any international, so we have to truck to Miami or Atlanta or somewhere else. And these people, they call me up and they're like, "Hey, I'm going to have this ready at 4:30 today. Can you get it to Tunisia tomorrow by noon?" And it's like, no, I can't, you idiot. Well, we've got a deadline. We really got to get it there. And I'm like, well, look, we can get it there, but it ain't going to be there tomorrow.
Dan, you know what you reminded me of? A question I had for my sister-in-law, because she's a flight attendant, and she was...
That reminds me a lot of your sister-in-law, Dan does.
She knows my cousin. My cousin's a flight attendant with the same airline.
Oh, really? Well, she... Yeah. She had been working this whole time during the COVID, and even when it was real bad and barely anybody was flying, she was flying, and I was like, why are they still flying? Like, do you fly flights with barely, not anymore, but back then, she's like,
early on.
I flew flights with 5 people. I'm like, it seems like... Why would you even waste? And then she's like, you got to remember all the shipping that these airlines do, because they rely they make a lot of their money through whatever extra room they have, and there's a lot of extra room than baggage from personal items. They ship company stuff from state to state and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I never even thought about that. Like, that's a huge part of their business.
Oh yeah,
is the shipping component of it,
portion of it,
and so they were still flying even though they didn't have that many passengers, because they were still making the shipping revenue. So a lot of airlines, they all have shipping revenue that they make and work with the different companies, right?
Right. There's the passenger operations, and then there's cargo operations, and together, hopefully, the revenue from both streams makes the airline profitable. This year, not so much. Also, sometimes they have to move the plane anyway for positioning and things. You know, they don't have airplanes at every airport, so they have to get it to Raleigh for its flight to New York or something, so it has to fly empty from Orlando. But what some carriers were doing, passenger carriers, like British Airways, for instance, they got rid of their freighter fleet after 9/11. They just stopped doing it. It wasn't profitable. They actually converted some of their passenger planes, ripped the seats out, and turned them into freighters again so that they could move cargo back and forth between the U.S. and Europe, because they literally had nobody on their plane.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Dan, have you heard within this industry if they're looking at the future? So, for instance, in the trucking industry, we've all seen like the Tesla trucks and these electronic semi trucks, and the whole idea is that they're going to be twice as long, completely automated, electronic, and that will be the future of how things are shipped on the ground
at all times.
And are they looking to the future about like overseas shipping or some sort of tunnel system? Or like we get so much stuff. Are they looking at?
Wait. Tunnel system?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Like under the ocean?
I don't know, Dan. I'm asking you.
Clearly you don't know, Tom, because ain't nobody building a tunnel on the goddamn floor of the ocean.
They do tunnels sometimes. I don't know what the possibility of tunnels are.
Yeah, we're gonna have a European American tunnel underneath the Atlantic Ocean for 12,000 miles or whatever. That sounds
smart. I don't know. I'm just saying, Dan. I'm throwing it out there.
For a split second, I got really excited that we did have a tunnel system, and then I realized that we have. Man, that sounds like COVID. Like I've heard COVID, and that sounds just
too
like
much damn caffeine.
And Tom is positive grumpy old man, and Dan is negative grumpy old man. And then we had them. They were using
Dan's my arch enemy.
They were. You were what you've talked about. Two wizards. Blue energy, red energy, and then the middle's purple, and you guys are swirl fighting.
Dan, I have to ask dumb questions because there's a certain percentage of our audience that, and they were...
Well, all right. Say no more, Tom. I got it. I didn't know that you listened to the shows after you recorded it.
Tom has to play this part, okay?
Yeah. These dumb questions are all written down.
He's like Jessica Simpson. He's beautiful, but you think he's dumb, but behind the scenes, he's a shrewd and brilliant businessman.
If I asked all the smart questions, people wouldn't understand. They're like, I can't understand the concepts he's even bringing up.
Too hard. This show's too hard.
Yeah. Then we'll
go back to Jim Colbert.
Yeah. You gotta. It's all about the masses, Dan. You got to appeal to the masses.
Sam, you know that's not true.
Yeah.
Jimmy's always talking about smart stuff. We're the only ones that don't talk about anything.
So is there any future thing that they're talking about?
What's the future, Dan?
Tell me about the tunnels, Dan!
This is the tunnels with Dan.
I am unaware of any sort of freighter drones that will be operating in the near future or any sort of engineering marvel that builds a tunnel under the ocean.
What about a mega ship? Like a
mega ship.
Like a gigantic, I'm talking a super freighter.
What about a huge, ginormous, like some sort of a blimp?
Okay.
And you fill it with a flammable gas, and then you fly it.
Big blimp.
So container ships are bigger than ever now, right? And in fact, they had to dredge the Panama Canal so that they could take the bigger new fleet
of judging the Panama.
Yeah,
the bigger fleet of modern vessels so that they could come to the East Coast. And you may have heard that I think Canaveral dredged its port, and Jacksonville, and all the way up the East Coast. They've been building bigger channels so that they can accommodate these larger vessels. And so we'll bring massive container ships now from China through the canal, around the tip of Florida, and all the way up to New York, where before it was really just a West Coast operation for the big vessels. And then the older
it's back. Dan, I'm sorry. I didn't end yet.
I get up around 8 for a job that I hate, and the pay is a drain, so I'll probably be late.
I can't stop. It's like a freighter. I can't turn it around. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Dan. That's pretty interesting.
Wait, I need that clip.
I mean, a lot of the day I'm in the office doing paperwork and phone calls and emails.
It's not interesting.
And then sometimes
it's not at all interesting. I was lying. I was lying to all of you. I didn't believe that one bit.
I know.
It's the most uninteresting thing I've ever heard.
I want that clip of you saying,
okay, all right. Well, that's kind of interesting.
like Norm Macdonald.
There is one thing that I got a real good laugh at. I was actually, this Lufthansa aircraft pulled into the gate at the airport, and there was a monkey on board, right? And because the monkey can have human transmittable disease, you had to have full PPE.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the monkey? Like you had to
wear
a mask
if it peed on you or something, like it was a full rubber boots and everything, right? And so The way that the agriculture works is, or CDC for this one, it was
monkey peed on my rubber boots.
Jesus Christ!
You asked for it, Dan. You knew what you were getting into.
I think he was doing me a favor. I'm sorry, Dan.
I'm standing out there on the tarmac and I got this monkey pee filling my boots up. So it's like, God, it's hot. It's hot out here, and I got shorts on. I got my boots on.
So the CDC told the gate agent that nothing comes off the plane until we clear the monkey, right? Very quick, I'll wrap this up. Anyway, they misinterpreted that to mean they couldn't let the passengers off. So they told the passengers, sorry, we can't let you off until we resolve this thing on the ground. All of a sudden, I see all these people looking out the little windows, and they're freaking out because they see 6 people in white hazmat suits digging into the belly of the aircraft.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd be mad. That's when I start freaking out and say, let me off, and they're tasing me. I can see that happening.
We pulled the crate out, put it in a van, and got on our way, and those people were able to get out. But you could see them, all of them, started 2 and 3 in the windows, peering through, going, what's going on
out here? There's a monkey
out
here peeing in some guy's boots.
You look out, and it's like they're dressed like E.T., like, they go to E.T.'s. You're like, what are they doing? You're like, oh, you go turn your AC off. You're like, just slowly turn it off. You're like, that'll help.
But it doesn't work. No matter what direction you turn it, nothing.
Because you're like, what was in there? Because for sure you don't think it's just some harmless monkey.
I don't think monkey. I think uranium, a bomb.
Yeah.
Or a disease, like biochemical warfare.
Big, extra large coronavirus ball.
Yeah, huge. Novelty purple crown
like,
ball.
oh my God, it's a
real corona. A big one.
It's a big.
Like a big great white shark.
So, Dan, last question. What's the biggest thing and most expensive thing
expensive
that you ship on like a semi-regular basis? I'm just curious. I guess is chartering a flight the most expensive? I guess if you had enough
in freight costs, that would be the most expensive freight costs for sure. Chartering a full aircraft, but we deal with a lot of military electronics, which are very small and very expensive. So it's like I could have a shoebox-sized box to move, and it could be worth $800 or $1,000.
Gotcha.
And so losing any of that is you're responsible for that. That's part of the service too, right? You have to make sure it gets to where it's going, or you're in charge.
Yeah, we're tracking, of course, and the airline is responsible for it when it's in their possession, but we have to show chain of custody and all of that kind of stuff. And clearly, if it gets lost, if it's just random stuff, you file a claim. But if it's a defense-related article, then you have to make a disclosure to the State Department and let the feds get up your ass. It's a real pain.
Oh, that's when you lose the missile to Cuba. You're like, no, Cuba! God! It could have been Jamaica. It's so much better.
Jamaican missile team. John Candy.
They just get it. All right. Well, Dan, thank you very much. We tried making your job interesting.
I'm sorry Tom didn't like your job.
Anything, I tried my hardest, and it was a failure.
Okay.
Oh, I brought in a full-scale replica of the space shuttle, so that was probably the biggest thing besides the elephants.
A full-scale replica of the space
Well,
Who has that?
Wait a minute. Why didn't you just build a space shuttle?
It didn't have the flight parts or anything. It was just a model.
Who wanted that?
I don't remember. We brought it to the visitor center, I think, before the actual shuttles were retired.
Well, the real one's right inside.
Yeah. I want to see your stinky old model. Oh, look, somebody built a shuttle model, and then the real shuttle's right outside. I'll be outside then.
I thought
it was before. Years ago.
Yeah, but they had the real one, right?
Like at the pad, but not for you to visit at the visitor center. And then when they retired the shuttles, they moved the one of them to the visitor center.
I don't want to see a fake shuttle, though.
I guess.
Well, it shows you the scope and size. Do you think those rockets that they have in the rocket garden are real, or do you think that they're replicas?
If I did think that, would you stomp on my dreams?
Well, I don't know if they're real or replica. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't know. Dude.
Are the bones of the T-Rex at the Science Center real? Because I told my sons they were.
they're not.
I knew it.
Yeah, they're just resin.
There's just it's a replica.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
all museums are a scam because they resin out the same bones, and they've been swapping these bones for years. Science is not real.
No, I want the real bones.
No, there are no real bones.
They're like, but this is an exact replica of the real bones. But I'm like, but it's not the real bones. I want
to touch the bones that were inside the dinosaur. I don't want to touch the resin bones that the redneck made at Universal Studios.
I don't want the replica shuttle. I want the real bones, real shuttle.
Or I'll go to Car Hinge. That's just as impressive.
All right, Dan, we got to go.
All right,
Oh, my God, it's way too late.
Oh, God.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Butler is here. And our good friend joining us on the big red couch is Seth Petrozelli of Jungle Fit Orlando.
I'm glad we invited him in.
That's
I'm glad.
good. Way to sell the sizzle.
Sorry,
That's great.
Yawn on this mic.
Hold on. Next time you do
I only
that,
got 10
wave
hours
your
sleep last
hand
night.
so I can turn you
10
up.
hours?
I'm joking. I only get like 7 now, which is bad.
7 hours?
I need 8. Yeah, that's not a lot for me. I need 8 to function.
I get like
sick.
6 or 7. I try to.
If I get any less than 7.
The rest, anxiety.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
I
tell you
can't
guys
sleep.
I don't sleep well. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
don't
have
sleep
to go
either.
to sleep early. If I don't, I'll just stay up all night.
So, Seth,
Anyway, yes.
someone on the BDM page put, and by the way, if you want to get on the BDM page, you have to be a BDM. And if you are a BDM and you're not on the page, just go to our app, and there's a, once you're signed up, it says, hey, join the BDM page. It sends a message straight to Tony, and he confirms that you're a paying BDM, and he lets you on the page. That's how to do it. Anyway, on the BDM page, some guy was clowning this other guy, this karate guy. Every once in a while.
Don't say karate. It's not karate.
Sorry, I don't
What is
know.
this?
It looks a lot.
I haven't even seen this
System.
video.
They call it system. There's like different martial
It's
arts that do that
closer
stuff.
to karate than it is computer programming.
Yes, if you go that way, but
It's in the Venn diagram
Yeah.
of
I
karate.
mean, he is sitting just like you in a podcast chair. It looks like. So it might be close.
And
It might be a good.
Like me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So it
I
might be
said karate. I
No,
forgot.
like you
He's
are
sensitive
insulting
about
him.
it.
Now he's attacking me.
I know.
And he said I look like this big fat dog.
Well, he's a little taller, but yeah.
You mother.
Get a tracksuit, Dan.
I have one. I just can't wear it until I lose some weight. No,
So-
I'm kidding.
No, it'd be
I
perfect.
don't have one.
This
I
is-
wear the hell out of it though. Yeah, I bet it's
I
comfortable.
mean, you have to hem it.
This has been a theme of our show for a while, where me and Daniel get extreme
We're
joy
obsessed with these.
out of watching a guy pretend to have energy and seemingly it looks
It only
fake.
happens in martial arts.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
And we've talked about it. There was that one famous case where there was this old man doing this, where he would, all his students would attack him, and he without.
But he looked like a stereotype. He looked like a Mr. Miyagi. He looked like he owned a Mogwai. He looked like a Chinese fry cook. Like he had the stereotype look. He looked like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and then all the students were running at him, and then with ease, with one little finger, he was throwing
Flipping
them
them
and
around.
They were obviously jumping around,
Right.
and it was the most fake thing you've ever seen. Some
I
actual
loved it.
MMA fighter, a local guy around town, challenged him to a fight, which the
He's
old man
famous.
took.
Yeah, Zhu. It's Zhu is his first name. I don't remember his last name, but he's famous in China for calling out Tai Chi, Kung Fu experts and whooping them.
So,
Oh, really? That's his thing.
He's like hated in China. Like I'm talking like he gets death threats in China daily.
So he's like the amazing Randy of fake martial arts guys.
Martial arts.
Okay, now we're on to something. This is good.
Yes,
Amazing
I
Randy
like
goes
this.
around and he busts skeptic or guys that say they can use telekinesis to bend spoons and
Oh
stuff.
no, I know Amazing.
Yeah,
I
he
know
goes-
Randy,
yeah,
old skinny.
You're a big
guy.
fan. I
I'm
know you're a skeptic too.
yeah,
He
I'm a
goes
skeptic.
around. He makes these guys out to be fools, which is great.
So the fact that guy, the old man, even took the fight means he was so delusional about what. Like I'm coining this term, delusional narcissist or delusional confidence.
We were
or whatever.
talking about this last night a little bit.
But so delusional that he actually thought, and then the guy punched him so hard on the face. I mean, obviously, and then
Wait, he dropped him one shot.
Couldn't even do anything.
It
right?
wasn't even a hard shot either. It wasn't like he hit the guy intending to kill him.
Yeah.
He just hit him once.
Well, because the problem with these guys is they've trained like this forever, and they've never experienced what it's like to be trained for real and get hit a couple times.
Hurts.
It stinks.
So, Seth, let's play the video, and this looks like another one of these goofballs that claims to have some sort of energy.
like this one,
It looks like my Uncle Joe, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a fat old guy sitting in a chair with a tracksuit on.
I like this one.
And
This one's good.
and he's doing the same thing they always do, which is his students run after him, and he, with just a flick of the wrist, throws them on the mat, and they're obviously jumping and doing this on purpose.
Okay. You want to see a little bit of this?
Let's watch it,
All right,
because
here we go.
I got so many questions. So he just pushes the guy down with one hand, and then he's pretending to be,
The guy's a good follower, though.
He's not even.
First of all, he hit him in the back and he touches his head.
It's like I'm play fighting with my son.
This is where he holds him from. This is where he holds him from. And then he puts his fat leg on top of his head. Of course, that's going to hold you down.
He's not even moving.
He touched him with his index finger.
Yeah.
Now he's just.
But then watch, the old guy kind of gets off balance and he slides off the chair a little bit at one point because he's too fat to stay on it. Watch.
What is this?
Yes. Okay.
And then he screams. Look how much in pain he is on the ground, though. Watch. He just keeps squirming like that because he's in pain. There he goes. He's sliding off.
Oh, he's on a knee.
Oh, he's on a knee.
I also okay. Here's what I like about this so much. The first thing that I see that I love is the amount of that egotistical confidence that man has. He's looking around the room and he's like, "Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
With my do you see?
Smug.
Is
Very
everybody
smug.
here looking and seeing what I'm doing with my big fat Italian finger? Are you watching?"
Here's my question to all of you, right? Because this is what drives me crazy at night. This is what is going to cause my early death. What do the people watching this believe that this guy has this power? Do they not see that it's fake? Do they believe in it? And does the guy believe in it? Because the guy who's faking it...
No, he's a con man.
Okay, so he knows 100% it's fake. Why?
The guy that's sitting in the chair, yes, he knows it's fake.
But the guy that's
sometimes
getting it,
I know what Tom's saying. He's saying that sometimes there are people
because that old man took the fight. If he knew it was a fake, he never took the fight.
I would have never taken
because he knew he would have been killed.
Yeah, like we almost enable these old men by continuing to fall down when they just wave their arms.
Yeah.
It's like what's the guy's name? The preacher guy from Orlando.
There's lots of preachers.
Benny Hinn?
Yes, it's that same thing.
Lay the hands on kind of a thing. Yeah,
and everyone falls.
It's the same exact thing, but it's just martial arts or whatever the hell this is supposed to be.
Yes, you're right. But sometimes those people are so delusional, they believe their own BS.
I don't believe that.
I didn't either, but until that one old man martial artist that did the same thing, took the real fight.
I don't know.
Okay, that one's kind of sad. I've watched it enough for it to be sad. In the beginning, I started howling with laughter when the old man gets dropped by the guy. But
so
it starts to get sad because I think Tom's onto something. I think you see that this old man's like, whoa, yes. I don't have the power. It's almost like he thought
yes, that's
he had the power.
I don't have the power.
And then when the guy hit him, it was like, oh my God, everyone's been lying to me for 25 years.
Yeah.
Do you know it right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because why?
I'm going to try to find that one.
Yeah, try and find that.
If that didn't happen, I would have been with Samantha 100% all the way. Of like these guys know it's a con. The people that are pretending to fall know it's a con, and they're trying to con the rest of the people to spend money. Okay, but you wouldn't have never taken the fight if you would have known it was con. You'd be like, hey, this real MMA guy is going to punch my face and ruin this whole thing.
Right.
So you would just put it off and try to be like, no, I'm not going to fight.
As far as getting more followers like that, say I invited you three to a seminar of a guy who does this. Let's say two of you in the crowd, this is ridiculous, this is BS, there's no way this is real.
But
one of those are like, no way, is this really happening? Well, this guy's awesome. And he joined, and that person has the mindset and is gullible enough to join that type of thing. So if they want a bunch of people to come watch, half of them are going to say absolutely no way, half of them might come and actually take it, or they would actually, do that for him and fall and stuff like that. So that's how, and you guys wouldn't say anything to him watching. You'd be too like, oh, let's not say anything. We're watching this. We know it's bullcrap. We'll just never come back. But so that's why the crowd isn't saying anything.
You're right.
I think.
And I think you're right with that. But the people that believe it, how can they believe it, Seth? Is it how can you look at this?
Is it Tai Chi master knocked out 3 times in 30 seconds to MMA kickboxer?
Yeah,
that's the same guy. It might not be the same fight. He's had like 8 fights like this.
Yeah, like
there's a lot of fights.
You get knocked out every time?
Do you know
no, he beats every one of them up.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's getting death threats.
It's so hard for me to find this. This guy's now on a tour. He's on a
famous.
tear.
Yeah, he's
just ripping through these guys now.
Yeah.
We should try to interview.
It's a good thing. Maybe I should do that with
We should try to interview this guy. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So that's
but with like old women.
Well,
you lost me on the old lady.
But that's
Seth Petrozelli goes around
different.
kicking kung fu grannies.
Yeah.
The fact that there is a guy like the Amazing Randy that's going around and beating up these Tai Chi people, that tells me that there's multiple Tai Chi people that believe that it's real so much that they're willing to fight a guy that they should know they'll lose to.
You got to understand the culture they were in. They're in China teaching Tai Chi, the national pastime of China, like a martial art of China. So like they're brought up to be like, worshipped.
But so let's go over Tai Chi. What is it? Is there any legitimate, actual, beyond the supernatural power part?
Relaxation. I mean, for health benefits, relaxation, meditation.
But is there any actual fighting?
There's hard Tai Chi. I know there is hard Tai Chi. But
this is a good one, guys. I think I got one for you. Okay, here. This is weird.
That's the same guy.
Okay, so
he always wears the same outfit.
So this one actually has
that's not the same guy I'm looking at. Okay, so
this one actually has like audio and like a little presentation that you can kind of watch.
Oh man!
To sort of explain what happens here. So 10 seconds was all.
There's a right hand
Yeah, so you're seeing this MMA fighter is taking on this Tai Chi master. His name is Wei Lei.
And the Tai Chi guy is trying to throw his power, and the MMA is punching his face crazy.
Yeah, so this is the watermelon thing where there's a part of a disturbance inside the watermelon after he touches it.
Yeah.
But he fakes it.
So here he's showing that he can gently place his hand on this watermelon. And then in this one...
What's going on with the bird?
Okay, in this one, he says, it was claimed he could use chi to create a force shield to keep a flying pigeon near his palm.
Oh, so he couldn't fly away?
So look, this pigeon is... So basically, you rubber band a pigeon to his hand.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then this guy, he's getting punched in the face. They're cutting scenes. Yeah. And then basically this is like one of those little 30-second blips that they put out there. They basically tell you that this one guy's on a tear throughout China beating up all these fake masters. It's like his thing now. Can we interview that guy, you think?
He maybe doesn't speak English.
The guy that's the MMA guy.
Does. I want to say the MMA guy does. No, he's Chinese, but I think he does speak a little bit English.
So
that'd be
if
awesome.
I remember looking at his interviews.
But what I mean by all this is like these Tai Chi masters take the fight, so they believe in their own BS, which fascinates me the most.
Or they might not, and they say, if I don't do this, then I'm going to look really fake. So I got to just try. I mean, at least maybe make an effort, and hopefully something will get a poke in the eye, or a kick in the.
They should know that. They're never going to win.
So like it would
How
be.
do they not
If I challenge you to a fight, would you back down? Like in front of everybody?
Yes.
If I go push you and I'm like, let's go.
Yes.
He will now because he has kids.
Of course.
Before the kids, he would have fought you, but now
I'm
that he has
not an
kids.
idiot.
No, I don't think he'd ever fight him. No, I mean, maybe drunk. But if it was like a real fight, he wouldn't do it.
Well,
he has ultimate confidence. If he'd be like, if I trained for 2 weeks, I could do it.
I know that to not be a fact. I know that. But here's the thing: I have ultimate confidence in things I actually believe. This is impossible.
Yeah, but a lot of things that you believe are impossible.
Aren't you moving
it's close. It's closer than Seth. I mean, me being able to fill a cavity is closer than me ever beating Seth in any fight, no matter how much I ever try.
I'd agree with that. Are you're moving your dojo now, right? Yes. To a new location. Why don't you start teaching this, because you can back it up. If this guy starts to come, just start teaching the energy waving. Right?
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody comes to back you out and be like, I think you're fake, and you'd be like, all right, let's go.
Just do the opposite of
and then fall back on your real
karate. The reverse scam.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Okay, now we got something.
Now we got a business.
That's a good idea.
Because
let's start this business.
But again, I don't want to get hit. Okay, that makes me put my body on the line.
Yeah, you're not getting hit at all because you're teaching energy waves.
Yeah.
Well, the fight, whoever challenges me.
Yeah,
No,
but
you
can
wave
easily-
at him.
I've seen that guy. You could beat up that guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah. But
No. I mean the guy that's challenging him. Like, yeah. You're bigger than that, dude. Yeah,
Jew? Yeah, I could beat Jew.
Yeah. Because he doesn't need to be that good. He's beating up old people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could beat.
I could beat up that old man.
That old man. Especially that fat guy. I don't know.
Oh, I'd kick him right out of the chair.
Samantha could beat him up.
Kick him right in the chest.
I would drain my savings account to watch Samantha fight the man.
Oh, me too.
I would
Put on my combat
literally-
boots.
Oh my god! But I've never wanted to watch a pay-per-view more in my life.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
So, but that is brilliant. If you
do it at the
pretend to do
jungle.
this, and then anybody that challenges you says it's fake. The ultimate problem is, though, it's like the energy aspect is fake. So all the stuff and the energy you're teaching that can't be backed up by anything. And so, but the guys that pretend to fall down when the energy gets them, they know.
I don't know. I really think they believe it, man.
I
That's
think
the
it's
only way you
50-50.
get people like
I think
that.
it's 50-50. I
that's
think
where it gets
some
gray.
people are like the people that go to these big religious conventions
It's
where
them
they
pushing
want to
that-
believe, and so that they will just fall.
Well-
and I think some of them are doing it because maybe they're in on it. You know what I mean?
And we all know what it's like to believe something we all know is not true, right? I mean, I think most people know what that feels like.
I only believe what's true. So I do not know what you're talking
No,
about.
I think most people have lied to themselves if you really dig deep enough.
Not me. The only fact.
My entire life is a giant lie. I only know the truth in my book. I know who I really am.
My entire life is one gigantic lie.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, our producer Samantha here, Butler in the other room, and you have been giving the entire staff here at Teen D Media some homework to do.
No, I watched the documentary, and then I was like, you guys should watch this, and we should talk about it, because it has to
I kind of enjoyed it. My wife was like, Tom gave you homework to do? I was like, yeah. She goes,
He's been doing that lately.
You're Tom? And I go, yeah,
But he never does the homework we give him.
No, that's not how it works.
I hate homework.
Yeah.
We don't like it either. I'm watching this dumb documentary.
It's do what I say.
I don't think you have to
I don't
do it.
do what you
No,
say.
you told me I had to.
I just said, if you don't do it, you're fired.
Yeah,
Right,
that is
exactly.
true.
You don't have
That is
to.
true.
I just-
by the way, since you're mentioning that, I'm glad you brought that up. I would like for everyone, you included, Tom, to write on a small piece of paper who you voted for, put it on my desk, and based on who I voted for, you will be fired. That's the new thing. I've been seeing that all around.
Wow.
I saw that this morning. That's a thing. Legally, I think we're allowed to fire people we disagree with, right?
Well,
That's
in
the thing.
Florida, it's a right to work state.
Let's
do whatever you
do
want.
it. Let's get on it.
But also, Samantha, you've built up quite a bit of equity.
I see what you're saying.
It would take a lot for you to get fired.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
All right.
You got them big equities.
I'm saying
Hey.
that I don't
But-
even. I'm not even sure what you could do to get you fired at this point.
No, you
You'd
own
have
the
to do
company.
it 5 times.
You'd have to fire. Well, first of all,
you know, the worst thing I could think of 5 times. Butler.
I have no idea what I can do to get fired. I've done it all.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Butler can pretty much do
Well, you
anything.
guys-
He never gets
well,
fired
let
either.
me
I
explain.
think your desk might be the final straw.
You're doing a corporate time and you should be fired.
You're fired.
I'm so sick of
You're
this
fired.
happening
That
every time you come
was
in
the
here.
nail.
That was it. But you know what? It's not, because look at how happy Tom is that you did that.
I'm not happy.
So let me point something. We were going to talk about.
Just give Samantha
Sorry,
extra work.
We're going to talk about this documentary.
I honestly, I'm going to quit. I just,
well, don't say that.
Don't worry about firing me.
Well, no. Okay, here, let me explain something to you that you don't know, Sam. Is the only way that you can be fired is if you fire yourself because you're in charge.
I'm this close to doing it.
And Butler, you can never be fired because technically you're so bad at your job you don't really work here. So you're both ready, untouchable. Yeah. You're just 180s of each other.
So-
you got one that has to fire herself, can never be fired, and we got another one doesn't even work and can't be fired. You're the equivalent of Steven Spielberg just steals the trailer on set, and then next thing you know, he's making a movie.
So
You ever heard that story about him just
No.
showing up on set?
No, what were them?
Look that up, Sam. Supposedly, Steven Spielberg would just go on like a Hollywood set, and he just commandeer a trailer like early on when he wasn't like a huge deal.
Yeah,
and he would just commandeer a trailer and just start making his movies. I'd heard that,
but
for like his first movie, that's how he kind of started.
And he just start. I mean, how would he
fake it till you make it? He would just start gathering his buddies and stuff and kind of yeah. Now that I could have made that up in a it could be a fever dream. Could be a fever dream.
This guy has a trailer. He can order us around and tell us what movie to make. Who's paying for it? Well, what are we working
That's
for?
what we did. You make us hide when Morad, our landlord, comes around, because technically I don't think we're supposed to be in here anymore.
You're right. It says famed director Steven Spielberg got his start by sneaking into Universal Studios and commandeering an unoccupied office.
Boom.
And what did
Danny Fever Dream?
He just used it as office. He didn't start telling everybody to make his movies, and everybody's like, "Well,
where's my shark? You POS."
So, speaking of movies, this documentary I watched, and I told you guys you should watch it because it has to do with a radio guy, and since we all know about the radio business and we've had some experience.
Well, we're still in it. This is on the radio right now. Sure.
Right.
I wouldn't call this anything to do or anything close to the radio business because, Butler's only worked here with us and never with an actual corporation or radio corporation.
Clearly.
So, but I wouldn't say that he has any understanding of the internal radio business like
I wouldn't
Samantha
say he has any
Ordain
understanding.
Yeah. Anyway, but
I insult him so much I have to bring him gifts on Friday.
We've made fun of it for years about radio and terrestrial radio and that kind of culture and the people that work within that, especially like in the 90s and the shock jock era and so we've always been entertained by that.
Yeah.
And this documentary has to do with that and a guy getting in trouble. So the documentary is called
Wild Card.
Yeah.
The downfall of a radio loudmouth.
Yeah, of a radio loudmouth.
And it's on HBO. So it's going to be...
It's Boomer and Carton in the morning.
And it was a guy... What was his first name? Carton? It was something Carton. Was it
Craig Carton.
Craig Carton. I've never even heard of this person.
Me either, but I'm also not into sports radio.
Now, here's what I will say. Never heard of Craig Carton, but have heard of Boomer and Carton.
Okay, you've heard of that show.
Yeah, because they show up in, the trades, and I hate that term, but, like Talkers Magazine or Radio Inc. or these dumb publications that are very self-serving, and it's like... Basically, if you're listed in there, it's just because you're kind of drinking their Kool-Aid and you're part of the good old boy club. I hate it,
but there was a couple of interesting things, and me and Daniel actually saw this happen at the time. Didn't think twice of it ever since. But when this documentary showed it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember when that was going on." And it was the advent of them realizing that that sports talk or like men's. Sports talk with mostly other stuff in there, like current events.
That ties into exactly what I'm talking about with Talkers Magazine. Walter Sabo, Chris Kampmeyer, here are guys that were bigger in the level of professional radio, and I think it was Walter that coined some term like Maxim radio or.
Yeah.
And even that's like a dated term, Maxim. I think most young kids or hipsters or these like little millennials, they don't know what the hell Maxim is. That's a 2090s
They don't know what magazines are.
Yeah.
So, but at the time, and when did that happen? Like 2010, where they... So basically, this documentary
maybe
is
a little before that, I would say.
The documentary, just as an overview, is about this radio show host, and he's got the stereotypical morning radio show host personality, and I'll explain. Yeah. And I've met quite a few of these types of people that have these jobs, and they're all similar and eerily similar. And I'm not talking about who people think I'm talking about. I'm like I've met like
Jim Phillips,
Man Cow. No, Jim Phillips not this.
Jim doesn't really fit there.
No, and they all don't fit this.
Arguably, who you're thinking of, who you think Tom's thinking of, doesn't really fit it.
No,
we're not. We're take it away from anybody we would ever know, and just think of the big guys.
But like Bubba the Love Sponge, Man Cow, and like a handful of other these guys, like it all stemmed kind of from Howard Stern, and like it created this genre of radio radio of this, like, you know, if you take Wacky Morning Show and like Shock Jock and like that kind of personality. And it's funny because every time I've met one of these guys and like just spent any sort of small time with them, it's all the same. I'm like, whoa. And I'm not saying a bad thing or I'm saying a type of personality. And
this isn't a good or bad. This is just they're all this specific type of human being.
And also that what they do on the air is also different than who they are off the air, and it's all the same there too.
And normally you get one of these, and I'm thinking of a guy right now that I heard this about. I'll throw him in there, Billy Madison, that guy.
Okay,
he's syndicated all around the United States. I've heard that on the air he's crazy, but then you meet him and he's just a dad with a daughter and a super sweet guy. Probably the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet, and does a lot of charity.
Yeah, it's always like an over exaggerated act of who they've molded this personality, which may be an extreme version of their own personality.
It's like a robot.
Paris Hilton did that.
Yeah.
It's like a robot suit they wear so they can interact.
So anyway,
I do that. This is not who I really am.
yeah. And I think everybody does this job.
A little bit, except for Butler.
So anyway,
pretty authentic. You can say what you want about Butler. Butler
is who he is.
He's not a liar. He's authentic. He is who he is.
There's no act.
Now Remy is too.
But that's what will make people sad. So what? I don't want to ruin the documentary because
people know it's public knowledge what happened.
But so this guy, this morning radio show host, the whole thing follows his career, and then he gets a opportunity when Don Imus gets fired, which is around 2010. Yeah. So they kicked Don Imus out for doing what he did, and then
he said things that he shouldn't have said. Nappy-headed hose. It would, the blowback from that and the racial problems. Yeah, you just don't say things.
They played that clip from Don Imus, and they're like, "Why did you say that, old man?"
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys.
What an idiot!
I watched this, and I know what he says. I know who says it. I know his name, but I hadn't seen his face in a very long time. Don Imus.
Man, he's a ghoul.
And when they went to that clip, and he's like, when he did it, I started laughing because I'm like, this guy sucks. This guy's terrible.
Why'd they keep him on the air so long?
He looked like an old woman with his long
That's
gray
also quintessential radio where they just keep you on. It's because, you know why? Because it's the easiest thing to do.
It's like Larry King. Get him out of here already. I'm sick of looking at him.
They already have ratings. They're afraid of change. And then everybody always either leaves their mic on, nappy-headed hose, sex at a church. They always get fired and then bring in the new guy. This is
fresh
just
meat,
like Anyway, so that's what happened, and then they create this show. Which is funny because we saw, like, I remember Buckethead and then some other people when they were moving around to different jobs, they were talking about it around this time that they were trying to go heavy towards men's. Like, the whole shows revolve around sports, but it's every topipic. Like, it's a general...
Yeah, it's like sports is the vibe.
Bro radio?
But we can go anyway. It's very bro radio.
And so then...
Bro.
They take Boomer Esiason and this guy, Craig... what is it?
Carton.
Carton.
Like a carton of milk.
And then Craig Carton's the stereotypical 90s radio DJ, and then, of course, Boomer Esiason's the straight man.
He came off like a typical radio guy to me, but like his persona, I will say, when I was listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see why that works.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fall into the trap of like immediately hating the guy when I'm watching the documentary.
It's not for me, but he's good at his job.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. I'm like, I would never listen to this, but watching him and then watching the chemistry that he had with Boomer, undeniable. It looked like something I can, like, if somebody said, why does that work? I was like, that's easy. I can break it down for you.
And by the way, I'm not belittling it by saying typical radio guy. I'm just kind of painting a picture. And believe me, I'm saying
you don't have to apologize.
I know, but it sounds like I'm like throwing the shade at him or something.
I see what you're saying.
The guy is talented, and what he's doing
$3 million a year talented. Yeah, that's pretty damn talented.
Is a talent, and here's the thing: let the rating. I mean, his audience speaks for himself. Like you make your own success,
and
like, it's successful. It's successful.
And
who can argue?
As a guy who loves radio, which I do, which that's probably why some of the sadness comes from me. Like when I see things happen in radio, but I kind of wish we had a Boomer in this City because he came off good. I was like, I like that guy.
Really, if there was any redeeming qualities about the people on radio, I was like, Boomer seems like a really good guy.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I want him in this city.
I'd be friends with Boomer.
Talking about sports. I was like, that guy seems awesome.
But he's just an old legend that, is like,
but he doesn't seem like a D-head. He
seems genuine,
He seems
he's a cool guy.
Really, really cool. So I did like the joke when they said, hey, your co-host is a blonde guy and played quarterback here in New York. And he's like, yes, it's Phil Simms. And he's like, no. It's the Jets. It's Boomer. Womp womp.
So this is okay. If you've listened this far and you're interested in the documentary, I'm probably going to tell a couple spoilers. So if you don't want to listen,
turn
to a
your
spoiler.
radio off.
So
radio time.
On radio. So
how dare you?
So apparently this is kind of what happened. Is a true story about this guy.
True story.
Daniel and me. It seems obvious that he was involved in the making of this because it's very it puts him in a positive light. So anyway, so it seems like this is part of a campaign to get him because I think he's getting back on the air. He's got out of jail.
I think he's going back to the same
negotiated.
station.
Spoiler alert! This guy goes to jail and does some time. But so what he goes to jail for is this is where
Sam and Butler were texting me that they were worried about our company.
Well, okay. So he does. They were doing these live remotes in like Atlantic City as part of like the promotion with the casino.
We've done them.
It's a say.
They fly you there. They put you up for a live broadcast.
Yeah.
They put you in the hotel. You talk about the amenities. You fly home the next day. You're exhausted. It sucks.
So when they're doing this, I think this guy Craig tells Boomer Esiason that he's really good at blackjack and he could double his money.
It's always been a running gag on the show, and so at this particular,
this guy's been gambling since he was a kid.
Yeah,
they set that up.
So
pretty
he and
early.
Boomer start talking, and Boomer says, "If I gave you $10,000 of my money right now, how much could you guarantee me?" And he looks at him immediately, and he's a fast talking wheeler dealer. He reminds me of some of your friends, Tom, and he's like, "$25K, I can get you $25K immediately."
Yeah. So he promises to double his money, more than double his money, and so then the next morning, he goes and plays blackjack that night, comes back, and he brings a bag full of cash, and he gives Boomer Esiason $25,000
and I think he actually went higher, which is what made it kind of impressive.
Or he made a bunch
he made a bunch for himself.
And then he made the presentation on the air, and it was this big thing, and it was like, oh my God, he did what he said he's going to do.
They called it the Boomer bet.
And so then what happens is I'm guessing all the listener audience and stuff starts contacting him and saying like, well,
double my money.
Hey, double my money and stuff. And then...
Oh, no, they played some clips. Of callers that would call in and say like, hey, what do I do this weekend? I got the Boomer. And he'd go like, oh, you didn't hear this from me. And obviously, no, we don't condone gambling. And then he'd give them whatever he thought.
Well, sports betting, and then, and this is where, I have been fascinated with gambling for a while, obviously. And
I was your child when you stole a bike off of your friend.
And I know a little bit about gambling in Vegas and casinos and even some of the games and, a lot of stuff. I've listened to some audiobooks about this topic and whatever. So, here's my question to you guys. So, I understand all that. And in fact, I have first-hand experience with some of this ridiculousness because I've done these bits and I've done these gambling bits and people have
said... You also have a gambling addiction like our... like the protagonist in our said documentary.
So that's also why this whole thing is funny, and I told you guys to watch it too, because I know...
that part made us scared. That's the one that keeps us on our toes.
I wanted to make you scared. So, so this guy starts gambling these investors, and I put that in air quotes because it's basically guys that are just giving him six figures of, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he starts trying to gamble, guaranteeing them a 10% return, right? So people are giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and his deal was, I'll give you $100,000 plus the 10% return, and I'll keep anything on top of that.
Right.
And that's how I'll make my money. So he starts doing this and taking all this money. Obviously, if anybody out there understands gambling, this is going to go poorly for you.
Oh, yeah.
Especially you're playing blackjack by the rules. So this is where it comes into my biggest question, and it drove Crystal crazy. She's like, "Why do you care about this part of it?" And I'm like, "This is the part that that makes me mad."
Out with it.
So, anybody in this guy Craig seems like he knows blackjack pretty well. He's been gambling a long time,
right?
So, if you know blackjack at all, you know for a fact that there is no way to beat the game unless you count cards, right?
Right.
So even if you play... Now, blackjack has the best odds in the whole casino. If you play by the blackjack rules or the preferred
just
method...
whatever, yeah.
The standard strategy, they call it. Like,
Sure.
if you just stick with the standard strategy of blackjack...
Your quick start guide.
Then you have a close to a 50-50 chance against the house. Like, there's different odds. You play roulette...
You're never going to get anything over
more
on the house.
Yes,
that's by design.
Yes,
it is. You are
not to be a D head, but I am the producer.
Yeah.
You're going to have to wrap up your stories to get to your point, Tom. We're running out of time.
Well, this was my whole
Well, you
reason.
should have got to it quicker.
I know.
Oh man, I say that all the time.
So my whole thing was, so he knows that it's impossible to actually long-term win, right?
Okay.
Now, I say that, but obviously he didn't because he decided to do the scheme where he promised...
has an addiction problem.
Yeah, but addiction is different than delusion when it comes to knowing the facts. Like, I understand
maybe he thinks he's just going to be lucky enough to land on that winning side. Because it is still, even if you're counting cards, eventually you're going to run out of luck, right?
Well, you can't count cards,
right? Because
in this scenario, they won't let you. They know you're counting because you're betting.
Plus, he was private gambling with a private table with tables set up.
Yeah.
He had like 6 tables set up at a side, so he wouldn't have to wait for them to shuffle because it would take 10 minutes, and it drove him nuts.
Yeah. So in that scenario, and like I'm saying, you can count cards for a little while, especially if they're in a busy casino, and people do it all the time. But they do it when it's crazy busy, so it's harder to keep track. But if you cannot count cards if you are the only person at the table betting that amount and you have people just watching you bet because they will know.
Well, they're just going to ask you to leave.
So now if you play basic strategy blackjack, you may have good, like I said, you win Boomer's Heist and $25,000 but there's going to be bad. It's going to be ebb and flow and you are always going to lose long term.
Right.
That is how the game is designed. That's how it works. So how is it that someone was giving this guy hundreds of thousands of dollars not knowing that? Because it's so easy to find out.
Most of your questions, though, that you ask that are fascinating to you, the answer is typically stupidity.
So the person
or lack of not like a lot of times you come to the table with a question, you're like, I don't get this. For the life of me, I can't understand why you wouldn't have even thought of the risk. You as the investor should have known But man, there's some dumb people out there.
Yeah, is that it? That's just it?
Well, that's not my answer. I'm just saying I wish I had a better answer for you.
Because then I thought maybe they heard this guy guarantee this, and rich people that may be more shady, like a mob related,
Well, he had dodgy people giving him money.
Well, do you care less about the money if it's illegal money?
Well, here's the thing. You're more scared about losing that money. So, for instance, if I was a rich, shady guy that I knew that this guy would be afraid of, and I hear him make this claim, I can go to him and be like, oh, yeah, I'll give you $100,000. You have to give me 10% back. And if you don't, then I need that. You know what I'm saying? You guaranteed that 10%, so I need it one way or the other.
Or maybe it wasn't about the gambling. It was just about them laundering money for these people.
Well, no, because...
Well, it's a win-win no matter what, right? If you are the ignorant guy that doesn't know cards, and let's say you're going to invest, and let's say... You're my guy, right? You're Blackjack Tom, and I'm going to give you $100K. And you're promising me what? 10% on top of my 100? 10% on top of my investment?
Yes.
It's a win-win for me, because even if you don't get it, I'm just coming for you, and I'm going to get that money.
Oh yeah. So that
maybe that's it. Maybe it's a little more of a simple answer. I don't know.
So the investor knew this guy was full of ass.
That just makes him really stupid, right? That makes him really stupid because the guy's like, "Yeah, this is a win-win for me. No matter what, I'm getting $110,000, or I'm just going to kill you."
So Craig Carton,
which isn't as good, but
then it leads me to. So Craig Carton is a delusional narcissist that believes that he is better than math and somehow.
Well, I think he did.
Right.
I think he did.
Yeah. But how do you believe it, though? That's the weird part. Like,
those wild claims that you believe, like I can be a dentist in 2 weeks? It's kind of like that.
But we
got to find a dentist that will train you for 2 weeks. This one's come up for years. It's like a 10-year running gag.
Because I truly believe that
Tom says what?
What do you mean? Oh, they're done?